This is Hamilton Tiger Cats football on the Ticats Audio Network.
Great to have you with us for the Tiger Cats visiting the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. RJ Broadhead along with Luke Tasker, and normally we'd be moments away from kickoff, but a lot of weather in Winnipeg. A thunderstorm, it put a delay on the game. The fans have just been allowed into the bowl. The players just getting on the field for warm-up. So it looks like the top of the hour is the plan for kickoff. They already did the coin toss, and the Bombers won the toss. Luke, rain delays. I know Andy told a few stories. Coach Sal told a few stories. You were on that team that Andy was on in Winnipeg a few years back, where you had the long delay and then it didn't go very well. What happened in that?
Not very well at all, and it very quickly did not go well that night. Now, come on. History doesn't always repeat itself.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 2016. Andy and I and our team that year with Zach Caleros as a Tiger Cat, of course, were in Winnipeg, and that game actually, I want to say it was a 7 p.m. Winnipeg time kickoff, and we didn't kick off till 10:15 p.m. That was a substantial delay, and then the rain was gone once the game began. But boy, that one got out of hand pretty quickly. I think it was 21 to nothing or 21-3 before the end of the first quarter. Maybe it was a real tough start for us there.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
So they're telling us it's a 30-minute rain delay. You told me off air that you heard that too, and your rain delay.
They continued to tell us 30 minutes for a long time. It was like a prisoner's dilemma down there or something. You hope that the lightning goes away. There's still, everyone's going to check their own phone or whatever. My phone says lightning in Winnipeg for till 3 a.m. or something. But who knows? It sounds like they're fairly confident that the game's going to get kicked off before it gets too late here. And of course, for us, East Coast time out here, we're gonna get later and later. So hopefully this kickoff can get moving. They are out on the field warming up now and sort of in their regular routine. But like you said, the coin toss has already happened. I remember walking down the Winnipeg tunnels to meet up. It's sort of like it's two crime families meeting in the back alley here to toss the coin, and they did that with a TSN covered the coin toss with Simone Lawrence and Dylan Wynn and the crew, and so everything's decided, and now we just got to wait.
Yeah, well, we were able to see the coin toss. Of course, Dylan Wynn didn't play last game against Calgary, and there's been a lot of talk. Steve and Andy touched on it. 9 sacks against for the Tiger Cats, only 1 sack for. So no Dylan Wynn last week. I'm telling you, the look he had on his face, he barely ever took his eyes off offensive lineman Jamarcus Hardrick, who was a part of the coin toss. So they'll probably go head-to-head a little bit in this game, and if there was any question if Dylan Wynn is ready, I think his face on that coin toss told us everything we need to know. He looks super focused and intense, and that can only be good for the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of that from him at the end of last season when he was out at center field for the coin toss, and just an unbelievably intense football player. I mean, you know what I think about Dylan Wynn, and
yes.
He's just a fantastic teammate, and excited for the Tiger Cats that he is back in the starting lineup tonight. Simone Lawrence was out there with him. Gordon White, the special teams captain, was out there. A lot of solid demeanor there as they met for that secret coin toss in the tunnels.
Gordon White with Bailey Feltmate and Nick Cross all tied for first in the CFL after a couple of games with 3 special teams tackles. The offense, moving the ball, putting up passing yards, has been very good for Dane Evans and the Tiger Cats, currently sitting second in the CFL through a couple of games. What really stood out to be, Luke, the top 3 teams in the CFL in passing yards are the only 3 teams without a win. So putting up those big passing yards numbers does not translate into victories, at least not early in the season.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it can't be the only thing going for you if you want to win football games. And that toxic ratio that we mention a lot, Tommy Condell preaches it in his own room, is the ratio of explosive plays and your turnover ratio. Those 2 factors combined. And you see last week, Dane Evans had an unbelievable game passing. it was Calgary that had more explosive pass plays than the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and certainly they won the turnover ratio as well. That we're going to talk about throughout the evening tonight.
Yes.
That issue, catastrophic issue that the Ticats have had for both of their games, and that the turnovers have really played a huge role in the outcome there. Only one team has won a game this entire CFL season and lost the turnover ratio, and that was the Toronto Argonauts in their one victory that they had. They were -1 in the turnover ratio. So
Argos find a way. The last 2 years, they find a way to win those games.
Isn't that when I was looking through the turnover stats, I thought, again, Toronto last year, that was the whole thing. They were a statistical anomaly, but finding their way deep into the postseason, and they sort of have found a similar strange start in winning a game, but losing the turnover ratio. Every other game has gone as predicted, and that is that if you can force the opponent to turn the ball over more, you're going to win the game.
Braylon Addison, just looking on the field here, Luke, he is looking good. He's warming up. That's a great news. He was listed as a game-time decision. He's had a fantastic year so far. 5th in the league in receiving yards, 2nd in the league with 17 receptions. So clearly not a surprise, a favorite target for Dane Evans. And that's good news if he can go. Again, he's looking like he's 100%. With Dane Evans, he's statistically doing really well. He's number 1 in completions, number 1 in pass attempts. He's 2nd in the league in passing yards, 1st in the league in touchdowns. That 71-yard play to Stephen Dunbar is the longest play in the CFL this season. So he's leading in a lot of categories. Then you look at Zach Collaros. He's mediocre stats, but he's tied for the league lead in wins, and that's the one that matters. Again, finding a way to win. It's not 2 Picassos for Winnipeg in their first 2 games, but they are victories, and they're in a good spot. They won 10 in a row at IG Field, so a tough place to play, and it's going to be a rainy evening for football, which, we'll see how that works out. It could create some more turnovers, which is something the Tiger Cats have to improve on. Going back to last year, through 2 games they had 9 turnovers, Tiger Cats did, and then they cleaned it up, wound up with the fewest turnovers in the CFL. Very coincidentally, through 2 games, they have 9 turnovers. So if they can follow that same path, hang on to the ball, not turn it over, then maybe they'll get a similar result as the way last season ended.
Well, they have to if they want to have a chance at a championship, like they had a chance last season. And you're right, we saw 2 really tough games to start off the 2021 CFL season, and it was not just the turnovers there, and similar to right now. That's not the only issue that the Ticats have, but they also have shown some flashes of really, really solid football, offensively and defensively. They have not been able to put it together into one game, though. We saw flashes in Saskatchewan, and then we saw a great half at Tim Hortons Field against Calgary. Yes, the turnovers, and we'll nail on that tonight. But you touched on the rain, RJ, and the inner wide receiver in me has a little bit of anxiety right now. I never liked the rain. I was always second guessing the condition of my gloves or if I should wear them or not. I was a guy who pretty quickly decided to take off my gloves if precipitation was sort of ongoing in the game. But a night like tonight in Winnipeg, if you had a lot of rain early, you're kind of testing it out and getting that sense for what you're going to do. But once the rain actually stops, I actually stopped falling. I actually went back to the gloves. So we'll see if it plays a role tonight in the ability of receivers to pull some of these catches in, but maybe more importantly, the ability of the quarterbacks to deliver accurate passes and for all players to hold on to the football.
If you're just tuning in, the Tiger Cats are in Winnipeg, and the game should be kicking off, or should have kicked off, but there's a weather delay. Should be about 20 minutes from now, the kickoff, so we will keep you up to date on that. It looks promising. Everybody's out on the field. I'm RJ Broadhead along with Luke Tasker, so we'll have kickoff for you, hopefully, in about 20 minutes. You talked about the rain and the anxiety for wide receivers. You and I talked about it on Ticats This Week. A couple of weeks ago, I saw Stephen Dunbar in practice, and it rained and then stopped raining, and I noticed he took his gloves off. And then he and Matthew Schultz were playing catch, had to be at least 30 minutes after practice. He had no gloves on. Talked to him about it, and he said the same thing. Last year, his rookie season in the CFL, they had some wet weather, and he wasn't super comfortable taking off his gloves, so he wanted to make sure he was comfortable with the bare hands in a game. So we'll keep an eye on him as well and see if he's going with the bare hands or if he does go with the gloves. But it is something that fans don't really think about. Will you wear gloves? Is it a mental thing? It was, you mentioned, for yourself and for Stephen Dunbar, and we know for sure that he's practiced without gloves, so we'll see if that pays off tonight.
Every player is different too. You got guys who are just of the mindset they are never going to not play with gloves on. You've got guys who just they can't imagine playing wide receiver without gloves. That's the nature. That's how they grew up playing. It's just they're not going to do it. And then you got guys who get real creative with tape. I taped all the joints of my fingers. I remember an opening game 2014 in Saskatchewan where it was July 4th, but it was like 10 degrees in Sask and raining for some reason. It was just a brutal day. And I remember looking across, and we got beat very badly in that game, RJ. Real bad. And every single Saskatchewan wide receiver had gloves on, and it was as if it was, 25 degrees and beautiful sunshine. And I was over there thinking, well, maybe I'll take my gloves off this series, or we were all talking about it. And I don't know. I think sometimes if you are able to get out of your own head with that, better for you, but it is something we all have to think about. All the ball handling players on the field have to think about as the night progresses.
You played offense. We all know that, Luke. We're very successful. With rain, is it more difficult for the offense? Does the defense have an advantage when it's wet?
Boy, I would kind of have to say they do.
I knew you'd say that.
Quarterbacks can at least, they can keep their hands dry. They have the little kangaroo pouch. We can see, Zach Caleros and Dane with those on the field now. But you got to touch and handle the football every play, and there's just more opportunities for something to go wrong.
So the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the last two Grey Cup matchups, and first of this regular season, should be getting going in about 15 minutes' time. A short weather delay, so we will take a break. We will be back and take you to kickoff at the top of the clock. Tiger Cats are in Winnipeg. You're listening to the Ticats Audio Network. Tiger Cats in Winnipeg to take on the Blue Bombers. Weather delay, another 15 minutes, and we should have kickoff. Tiger Cats in their black tops, gold pants. The Bombers will be in their blue pants, white tops with the gold helmets. We will hand things over to the pre-game, post-game, halftime team tonight. Andy Fantus and Steve Clark, take it away.
All right, thanks very much, RJ. But having a look at the screen and the players going through the warm-ups, Andy, we'll get to the starting lineups here in 1 second. I love some of the creative improvisation that some of the fans have to try and stay dry when they didn't bring their full rain gear.
Isn't it the best? You get everything from ponchos to rain-specific gear to just total makeshift. And like I mentioned earlier, some people just no shirts at all, just keeping their clothes dry. It's funny, but you got to love the CFL and their fans.
All right, let's have a look at the starting lineups. I mean, we've kind of hinted through the pregame, and RJ and Luke were talking about it too, and with Coach Sal about some of the key deletions from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Where do you want to start? Let's take a look at the offense first.
Sure, let's start on the offensive line, and we mentioned Brendan Revenberg being out, so Kay Okafor is taking his place. So that's going to be a player that I'll be keeping my eye on tonight. He's got a big matchup going across Thomas and Siles tonight, who are vets in this league. And, I think this is going to be a big challenge for Okafor, and we'll see if he's up for it. But going left to right on the offensive line, Tyrone Riley, then Kay Okafor, Jesse Gibbon back at center, Travis Vornkill at the right guard, and Chris Van Ziel at the right tackle.
Can you see Winnipeg maybe little blitzing just to challenge Okafor to see how up to the task he is?
I think they should, and I think they will. Yeah, they're going to run some stunts. They're going to have some blitzes up in the A and B gap on his side and see how he can handle it. They're certainly going to test him. I don't see why they wouldn't.
The offense, more of the offense led by Dane Evans, who had career highs in completions and pass attempts last week.
Yeah, next in the backfield there is Sean Thomas Erlington, who leads the league in yards after catch after 2 weeks, and fullback is Jake Burt, and this is a guy that I would like to see getting some more touches, whether it's in the run game or in the pass game. He's really impressed me through camp in the first 2 games. His physicality, his ability to catch the ball and run routes. So I think getting him more involved will be a big weapon for the Ticats.
We'll continue on. What do you see? Let's take a look at some of the wide receivers.
Wide receivers doesn't change from last week. Braylon Addison is in the lineup. He was a game time decision. So we have on the weak side Stephen Dunbar Jr. and Tim White, who had a career high 11 catches last week. He's a guy I was really high on this year, and look to see him continue that and be targeted tonight. To the field side, Braylon Addison. Next to him, Poppy White and David Unger III. Tyler Chanowski's also in the lineup, backing up probably every position. He's kind of that utility man, and if he gets in the ball game, he's one to watch out for as well. He's had a terrific offseason in camp, so getting the Canadians involved, David Unger, Tyler Chanowski, Keandre Smith, could be a factor in this game, and I really enjoy watching those guys play.
I've got 37 catches between Addison, Dunbar, and White. So a good distribution of the ball by Dane Evans. It
is, and you want to make sure though you can get it to the other players as well. I mean, those 3 you mentioned, the 3-headed monster, they should be getting 8 to 10 catches or targets at least a game, at least. But if you spread the ball around and you get David Unger to 3 or 4 catches and Poppy White 3 or 4 catches, that just means you're going to be on the field longer. You're going to have more offensive plays. Everybody's going to eat and going to take some pressure off the defense. So we're going to wrap up with the special teams. We got Michael Domingala, Simon Laurier, Gordon White's a long snapper, Lawrence Woods. The third is the kick and punt returner on the offensive side. I think we're going to bring in Coach Sal here to help us with the defensive lineup and talk a bit more.
Coach Sal, we liked it so much for pregame salutations. We wanted to bring you back for part 2 of this as well, as we're closer to game time now, and you've had I don't know how much of a chance you've had to see players going through their paces, but what have you kind of noticed, or what's your thought on the half-hour delay?
Well, I don't think the half-hour delay will make a big difference to either team. I think that's an acceptable amount of time. And, when you were talking to Doug Brown, he brought up some very interesting statistics, or at least thoughts, about the DNs, the very athletic Jeff Coat Jefferson, the J&J boys. And I think if Hamilton's going to do anything tonight with their offense, they're going to have to be able to handle those 2 guys. So in order to control those guys, they're going to have to use a lot of different tactics, one of which is a quarterback snap count. 2 would be, can use your slot back and crack back situations. 3, use your tight end. We talked about Burt. Put him up on the line of scrimmage at times, other times in the backfield as an extra blocker. And then, attack the edges with your run game. So all of those things considered, the offense maybe can move the football.
Well said, Coach. Winnipeg is a team that seems to thrive on the big chunk plays, 30-plus yard passes. So a challenge here for our starting defensive backfield. We have Jamal Roll, Alden Darby Jr., Tunde Adeleke, Richard Leonard, and Ciante Evans. Darby Jr. being, returning to IG Field. He was a Bomber last year. Tunde had a monster game last week. How do you see these guys matching up against the Winnipeg receivers?
Well, Tunde had a great game against Calgary with 10 tackles in that ball game, but he's going to have to stay back in the middle and protect a little bit on the halfbacks and give them an opportunity to, that he can go from sideline to sideline. If he gets too anxious and gets up inside or tighter to the line of scrimmage, then I think Leonard and Darby will both be open. in terms of the Ellingson and Woltowski getting downfield. So he's got to be careful to stay back in the middle and protect a little bit there.
We talked about the front four getting some pressure on Zach. We have Mason Bennett, Mika Johnson, Dylan Wynn's back at the lineup after missing a week, and Julian Hauser on the D line. They're gonna try to contain the pocket, stop the run. How important is the linebacking crew of Simone Lawrence, Jovan Santos Knox, and Cameron Kelly to not only help in the run game but also spy Zach? Like you mentioned, he can run. They might not want him to run, but he certainly can run and get that job done. But if they pitch up too far, he is excellent at throwing behind their ears in the intermediate routes. So, how big is the linebacking crew's effect on the game going to be tonight?
Well, with Collaros, you talked about explosion plays. Luke Tasker talked about explosion plays, and realistically, he gets those explosion plays when he gets out of the pocket. So Hauser and Bennett on the outside have to really contain him. Now, we've got 8 defensive linemen suited up for this ball game, so those guys can rotate. But the linebacking crew doesn't rotate. Those same 3 guys will play, Kelly, Knox, and Lawrence, the entire ball game. So they have to watch out for Dembski coming across the middle and doing his thing on the inside. And at the same time, be able to contain that run with Olivier. So basically, I think the linebackers are going to have a big role in tonight's game.
Coach Sal, extended salutations from you here in the pregame. Thanks a lot. Again, enjoy the game.
Yeah, watch out for that beer snake when it starts coming down the aisle.
Gotta love that. Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Real quick, other defensive players you wanted to touch upon. I know Coach Sal touched upon a lot of them.
Yeah, I want to see Simone really make a difference. He's been steady, he's been himself this year, but really make a play that stands out and is a game changer. So that's one for me. And Dylan Wynn, RJ and Luke talked about the look in his eye. Getting him back out there is going to be critical to wreak some havoc. And I guess one thing I always struggle with is people talk about, is this a must win? Or how important is this game? Is it all about the result, or is there some takeaways from playing, learning from your mistakes from last week, or is it a just win or be disappointed? What do you think?
Well, it's a marathon, not a sprint this season, though, right? But you'll start to hear the voices come if Hamilton starts off 0-3, so it'll be a great game. Yeah,
it will be. I think the result will come with the process. So Coach will preach that, and it's going to be fun. It looks like they're about to get going. So thank you for waiting, fans, and I'll let you take it away, Steve.
All right. Looks a little dark in Winnipeg, but that's okay. We're so excited. We're not going to hand the ball off, RJ, to you and Luke. We're going to jet sweep it to you for the start and the call of the game. RJ?
All right, Steve, that's dangerous in the wet weather, though. We'll be okay. We've got Luke in his sure hands here. So thank you very much, Steve and Andy, and very polite, thanking the fans. Hey, we shouldn't be too far now from kickoff. The warm-up is done. Players are on the sidelines. Fourth quarter, Luke, we have to touch on it, even though we haven't had kickoff yet. We're looking ahead. It's something that the Tiger Cats need to be better. They need to close out games, and I'll be interested to see how this game finishes. The way the CFL games have gone, I'm assuming it'll be close late in the game.
Yeah, well, two weeks into this season, 8 games total, and 4 of them have ended with a fourth quarter game-winning drive. I mean, that's great football. That's great CFL, and it's not going to be. I'm not going to be surprised if we see this one come down to the end. The Ticats kind of carrying that baggage from last season and not having a very productive fourth quarter. The most tangible example of that is, of course, a week ago at Tim Hortons Field, where Bo Levi Mitchell and the Calgary Stampeders had one of the most impressive second halves in CFL history. But a lot of interesting things happening across the league right now. You've got an increased drive start average, and again, that's part of that goes back to one of the new rules this year is that after a team makes the field goal, the receiving team can elect to take the ball on offense and start on the 40. In the years past, it's been the 35. So that is naturally going to increase that drive start average. But There's less 2 and outs in the league. Scoring is up. So it's an exciting year ahead of us for CFL football. The Ticats have their work cut out for them and a list of to-dos tonight that they need to start checking off pretty quickly in this game.
The Blue Bombers, surprisingly, are last in passing yards offensively and last in the league in passing yards allowed, yet they are 2-0, the two-time defending Grey Cup champs, finding a way to get the victories, and that was against Ottawa, those 2 wins. Jeremiah Masoli, he put up some big numbers. In fact, in week 1, Jeremiah Masoli led the league in passing yards, and week 2, Dane Evans led the league in passing yards. But now the Tiger Cats would like to translate that into a victory, and a tough place to get the first victory of the season in Winnipeg against the 2-time defending Grey Cup champions on a stormy night. We will have kickoff for you in moments. Tiger Cats in Winnipeg to take on the Blue Bombers. I'm RJ Broadhead along with Luke Tasker. We are very close to kickoff, so that's great news. There was a approximately half-hour weather delay, a lot of lightning in the area. There's still a bit of rain falling. The good news is it's pretty much falling straight down. Not a lot of wind, which is drastically different than what the Tiger Cats dealt with last week at Tim Hortons Field. The wind was a significant factor in that game. So we'll see with the wet field and the rain in the game who that ends up being an advantage for. But it could bring a team together. You've had, back in 2017, you were talking about a delay that maybe helped the team mesh.
Yeah, so we already spoke about the brutal delay 2016 in Winnipeg, and the Ticats had a 3-hour delay. But the following year, one of actually the worst seasons in Ticat history, we're 0-8. But the first win of that season was Labor Day at home, of course, obviously, against the Toronto Argonauts. And that game also had a lightning delay of something like an hour and a half, something like that at halftime of Labor Day. And that was the first victory for the Ticats that year. Who knows? It's just a strange, you're right, it's sort of a strange kind of coming together moment. You're out on the road, you traveled out there together, and now you kind of go through this sort of unexpected adversity. Both teams are going through the same thing. Yes, Winnipeg gets to go home and sleep in their own beds tonight and all that, but it's just a... Looking back on those things, it is just a fun football moment and a time for you and the boys to come together.
Well, there is a lot more pressure on the Tiger Cats. If they don't win 0-3 going home, that's a tough pill to swallow, whereas the Bombers at 2-0, they're still in pretty good shape. They're very difficult to beat at home. But one big key for the Tiger Cats last year, they had that slow start to the season, but they never had a losing streak that was longer than 2 games in a row. So they were able to stop those streaks before they got out of hand, and that will be a key tonight. No matter who they're playing, they have to get this victory and make sure that this streak does not extend any further into the season. Yeah,
and I think there are a couple real tangible, like I said, it's a to-do list. There are just some things that got to look better. And for one that we've touched on is the fourth quarter. The Ticats have actually started off with one of the most impressive first halves. I think that at least you and I have broadcast together. It was last week against Calgary, and they got off to an unbelievable start. But then, of course, the turnovers. And like we mentioned, Zach Collaros is not off to a record-breaking year in the first 2 weeks, but the Blue Bombers have turned the ball over twice. They're averaging 1 turnover a game. The Ticats are averaging 4.5 a game. And if those stats remain unchanged tonight, the Blue Bombers are going to win. It's that simple.
Yep. 33 points against the Tiger Cats last year. The only time they allowed 33 points last season was in the Grey Cup. So those 33 points that Calgary put up in the last game were big. Lawrence Woods, the punt return leader. This is a kickoff. The rookie able to get to the outside. He's up to the 30, and he's brought down just past the 35. He wound up running about the whole 65-yard width of the field, so it was a lot of ground covered to get just past the 35-yard line for Lawrence Woods.
Exciting to see, though. He did explode to the outside there, and it'll be interesting to see if he can create some big explosive returns tonight and throughout the season for the Ticats.
Tiger Cats starting with the football. First possession of the game. A wet field. Braylon Addison is in the game. Stephen Dunbar going off to the field side. Now he'll go to the slot. Dane Evans looks to his right, that direction immediately. He'll check it down to Sean Thomas Erlington, who gets across the 40, close to the 45.
Yeah, impressive little play. Sean Thomas Erlington is one of the yards after catch leaders in the league right now from his running back position. He had 65 some yards after the catch last week against Calgary. Braylon Addison on a little 5-yard hitch route just got in position to make a huge block there for Sean Thomas Erlington to get that gain and put them in a second and reasonable down here.
STE leads the Tiger Cats in yards after the catch. 2nd and 5. Hamilton on their own 42. Dane Evans looking to the left, and there he completes it to Stephen Dunbar without the gloves in the rain. And it appears to have a first down, so the Tiger Cats keep it rolling with an active Green and Ross first down. Fresh set of downs for Dane Evans, and he will not do a huddle. Braylon Edwards cut to his left, now back to his right. Dane Evans wanted to go there. Pump fakes, the pressure's on, he scrambles, and he just threw that ball away. The Winnipeg defense was closing in on him, and he wasn't about to fool around with that football.
They did a great job mixing in no huddle and a tempo offense last week against Calgary. And when I say great job, to me, they had big. When they struck an explosive play, Tommy Condell got them right back up to the line and ran another one right away. We just saw a glimpse of that, though that didn't turn into positive yardage. I think we'll see a mix of that tempo offense tonight.
Tiger Cats on their own 48, 2nd and 10. Dane Evans throwing to his left, and right near that first down marker was Tim White. It was a high pass. He reached up, but it went off his hand. Could not make the grab, and the Tiger Cats will have to punt on their first possession of the football game.
RJ, we've talked a lot about the rain already, and I actually wonder if that was a little bit in Tim White's head there. Looks like he mistimed that extension for the football just a bit too early.
Simon Larrier, the rookie punter. This is Janarian Grant back to receive it right at the numbers, and he made a couple of shifts, never got too far away from those numbers. The special team's so good for the Tiger Cats this year. Grant brought it just past the 25-yard line. So the Tiger Cats, 2 and out, or they had to punt on their first possession. The Bombers will have their first offensive possession when we come back. No score in Winnipeg. This is the Ticats Audio Network. Good to have you with us. Winnipeg Blue Bombers offense led by Zach Caleros on the field. I'm RJ Broadhead with Luke Tasker. Tiger Cats failed to score on their first possession. Tiger Cats defense will try to come up big as Winnipeg starts from their own 25. Play action, Caleros with lots of time, looking deep. It is complete. A big gain for Winnipeg on the first throw of the game, and it's Greg Ellingson. And he's not a secret. He's their leading receiver. He's been a star in the CFL for a long time, and all of a sudden, the Bombers are in Ticats territory.
Greg Ellingson from the right side of the formation ran an arrow route underneath Ciante Evans over Jamal Roll. Zach Caleros had a lot of time. Ticats showed a 3-down front there. It was actually Mason Bennett, who is playing defensive end tonight in the Ticats lineup, was dropped back. There was a 3-man rush, and boy, a timely executed deep throw by Zach Caleros.
46-yard gain on the very first play for the Winnipeg offense. Another play action for Caleros. He runs to his right. Ellingson was the intended target, but Ciante Evans, good coverage, and it's incomplete.
Ticats sort of taken back there by that strike, first play of their game as a defensive unit, and kind of just caught off guard there. It was Tunde Adeleke was down low in coverage there. Really, really great execution, but this 2nd and 10 is an opportunity to put that to a hard stop.
Bombers have advanced to the Hamilton 39-yard line. Zach Caleros taking his time. Rainy night in Winnipeg. It's a delayed handoff, and Brady Oliveira will only get a gain of a couple. So we should see Mark Leggio come on the field, and he does both the punting and the kicking for the Blue Bombers.
Not a crazy amount of wind here, And the rain is really not a huge effect on the kicking game, except, and I can tell you this.
Okay.
Nobody ever thinks of this. It's the holder who has the hardest job in this operation when the elements are not perfect, and so that's going to be something to keep an eye on here. If that can be smooth and with proper timing, this is a 44-yarder for Leggio.
Joe Mancuso, the third-string quarterback, will be the holder. Mark Leggio perfect on the season, and he continues to be perfect. That was his longest field goal of the year. He's 5 for 5 on the season. Coming in previously, his longest field goal was 30 yards. So now Mark Leggio at 5 for 5 makes it 3-0 for the Blue Bombers early in this football game. We will take a break. Bombers lead the Tiger Cats 3-0. This is the Ticats Audio Network. We've already got some emails. Tracy Kane from Decatur, Texas. That's Dane's high school coach. Great to have you with us, Terry. Eric Paul from Halifax. Wanda Coulthard's Burlington in her kitchen. It's great to have all you emailing in, and be sure to email us at gameday@ticats.ca. The Winnipeg defense able to limit that gain for Tim White. In fact, it's a loss of 2 on the play, so now the Tiger Cats will be second and long from their own 38-yard line. Dane Evans calling the play. Tim White late to leave the huddle, wants to make sure he's on the same page. Stephen Dunbar, the lone receiver on the field side. Dane Evans looks to the left, throws this high and into the Winnipeg sideline, so that's incomplete, and a quiet offensive start for the Tiger Cats.
There was some real big confusion there from the receiving core and Dane. You're right. Tim White was kind of slow getting out of there, and Dane effectively took a 3-step drop from his shotgun and threw the ball away. Obviously, somebody wasn't where they were supposed to be and not well communicated there.
Simon Laurier on to punt again for the Tiger Cats. He's standing at his own 24-yard line. Back to return the punt is Janarian Grant. Still early in the opening quarter, there was a weather delay due to some lightning in Winnipeg. Janarian Grant catches that ball right near the far sideline, and the Tiger Cats special teams is right there. Laurier, great position with the punt, and then the special teams really has limited any returns on the kicking, whether it be a kickoff or a punt this season.
Yeah, that was Kyle Wilson, number 15 for the Ticats, in with a big hit to stop that return. And Simon Laurier, that's 2 punts that have been very well placed outside the numbers with good distance. He's done a very good job with his duties this year.
53-yard punt for Laurier, just a 9-yard return for Janarian Grant. Bombers back on the field, fresh off a field goal from Mark Leggio to take a 3-0 lead. Zach Caleros taps his foot, and he'll hand off to Brady Oliveira, who runs to his left, and that is tough going. It's finally Alden Darby slowing him down, and Julian Hauser finishing with the tackle. So that'll be a gain of about 6 or 7 for Oliveira on the ground. 9 minutes to go, opening quarter. Tiger Cats 0-2, looking for that first victory in their black jerseys with the gold pants. Blue Bombers, blue pants, white tops, gold helmets. It's 2nd and 3 now for Winnipeg from their own 35-yard line. 2 receivers in motion to the left of Caleros. It's another handoff to Oliveira, and he runs right into the pack of the offensive lineman and defensive lineman and is able to drag that pack for 5 yards, and that's enough for a Winnipeg first down.
A run on first and a run on second. That's just some good, straightforward, old-fashioned football there after what was an explosive first series and first play of the game by the Winnipeg offense with a 40-yard pass play to Greg Ellingson.
Oliveira came into the game 9th in the CFL through a couple of games in Russia. Fresh set of downs for Winnipeg. They're up to their own 40-yard line. Rain falling in Winnipeg. Caleros in the shotgun, gets the snap, won't hand it off this time. Looks to pass and has plenty of time. It is complete, And another big gain here for Winnipeg. Running down that left sideline is Rashid Bailey. It's a first down and a lot more. 35 yards for the Bombers in there in Hamilton territory again.
Another issue that the Ticats are dealing with right now early in the season is the sacks ratio. They've had 9 sacks on Dane Evans and 1 sack made against opposition quarterbacks, and Zach Collaros on their 2 explosive pass plays has been able to stand very comfortably with a lot of time in the pocket.
Veteran offensive line for Winnipeg, Stanley Bryant, Marcus Hardrick at the tackles. Tough to get around those guys. Now up to the Hamilton 35. So again, the Bombers looking at some points. Leggio has been perfect this year at field goals. They might want a little more, and this is another first down and more to Dembski again along that left sideline. Bombers continue to move the football, and they're getting close to the red zone now.
You're seeing a mix here. Mason Bennett is a few times tonight has dropped into a low coverage position from his defensive end lineup, and they've brought 3, Micah Johnson, Dylan Wynn, and Julian Hauser. Obviously, Zach Collaros with that time, even though it's a 9-man drop with that 3-man rush, is still able to pick this apart. The passing attack has been very impressive for Collaros.
And keep in mind, Bombers came into this week last in passing yards on offense, and there's Julian Hauser finally gets to Zach Collaros. 2nd sack of the season for the Tiger Cats, 1st of the season for Julian Hauser, and that's a big loss of 13 yards on that sack.
Unbelievable. Look at how impactful that is. Blue Bombers really just taking all the yards they can get on every play, and that loss of 13 there. Julian Hauser, so athletic and all the way around the left side of the defense there, around the end to get Zach Collaros down for a huge loss at a very timely moment in this drive.
A couple of big plays already for Hauser. 2nd and 21 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're on the Hamilton 33 now after that sack by Julian Hauser. Collaros back to pass again. It's complete to Nick Dembski, and he looks, and he's got Cam Kelly right in front of him, and Simone Lawrence helps out on that tackle. Gain of 12, but that's far from what the Bombers needed for the first down. And Mark Leggio, number 13 for the Blue Bombers, coming out for another field goal try.
It's easy to say how productive the Winnipeg offense has been in this first quarter, driving down the field. Their total yards is healthy right now for being so early in this game still, but the Ticats defense holding both of those drives to 3, pending Leggio's make right here. Really impressive, keeping this game under control and still allowing Dane and his crew time to find themselves in Winnipeg.
Leggio hit a 45-yarder, his longest of the season, earlier, and this one was a 30-yarder, and yes, it's up and it's good. So Mark Leggio remains perfect on the season, and it's a 6-0 lead for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. First quarter from Winnipeg. We'll be back on the Ticats Audio Network. RJ Broadhead and Luke Tasker, Tiger Cats in Winnipeg. Not much happening on offense so far. Dane Evans 3 for 6, 9 yards passing. Zach Collaros has gone 4 for 5, 105 yards, and that's led to a couple of field goals. 6-0 Winnipeg leads. Tiger Cats starting from their own 40. Dane Evans, lots of time, and he hits Stephen Dunbar running over the middle, and he is across midfield into Winnipeg territory. It is Hamilton first down. The Tiger Cats keep it rolling with an active Green and Ross first down.
That was a great drop back play action there, and Stephen Dunbar Jr. on the little delayed slant from Dane Evans left. You've got to dial that up 3 or 4 times a game for Stephen Dunbar Jr. from his X position on the outside there. Great execution.
Dane Evans again dropping back. He's got some time, and his throw is knocked down, and the ball was loose. Adam Bighill was going after it and got steamrolled by Tyrone Riley, and there is a flag on the play. Now it looks like it's going against the Tiger Cats.
It's on Tyrone Riley. The ball was sounded like they blew the ball dead, like an incomplete pass. Adam Bighill had run towards it as though it might be live, but it's Tyrone.
Penalty. The be second down.
Tyrone Riley just given a little bit too much physicality with Adam Bighill well after the play was dead. So costly, just as more costly than that sack we saw on the previous drive to Zach Collaros. I mean, it's these 15-yard penalties will kill a drive.
Still in the first quarter, 4 minutes, 43 seconds to go. Winnipeg with a couple of field goals lead the Tiger Cats 6-0. It's 2nd and 25 here for Hamilton. They're on their own 42-yard line. Big play, Dane Evans to Stephen Dunbar, had them into Winnipeg territory. Penalty has pushed them back. Dane Evans has to leave the pocket, throws on the run to his right, and it's complete to David Ungerer for a first down and a lot more running down that right sideline. The first down is presented by Active Green and Ross. The Tiger Cats keep it rolling.
Okay, so that 15-yarder didn't hurt them.
No.
I take it back. That was an unbelievable throw and
It
catch
helped.
there. Perfect timing by Dane Evans.
David Ungerer, he has been a solid target for Dane Evans this season. Now back in Winnipeg territory on the Bombers' 27-yard line. Dane Evans trying to cut into the 6-0 Winnipeg Blue Bombers lead. Stays in the pocket, throwing deep, looking end zone. Incomplete. It is in the hands of Stephen Dunbar, maybe a little bit underthrown, but he couldn't come up with it.
Boy, he did have a chance at it, too. It just kind of, you're right, a little bit underthrown, but you give a guy like Stephen Dunbar Jr., you got to give him multiple chances to go up there and make a ball that maybe isn't perfect or perfectly timed. We won't see, that's not the last time we'll see that. The Ticats have yet to run the football tonight, RJ.
That is surprising, but they're in a Winnipeg territory now, an opportunity to get some points. They would like a touchdown to take the lead. 2nd and 10 from the Winnipeg 27. Empty backfield. It's a completion to Sean Thomas Erlington. He's been great receiving out of the backfield, and he'll be very close to a first down right around the 20-yard line, but he will be short. And Michael Damagala coming onto the field to kick a field goal and try to cut this Winnipeg lead in half.
Tommy Condell uses really all of his receivers as an extension to the run game, and just equally as much Sean Thomas Erlington is an extension of the pass game from the backfield, and that's really been his value add so far early in the season.
Matthew Schultz, the holder for the Tiger Cats, a 27-yard field goal attempt for Michael Damagala, and just along the right side of the upright, but it's through. It is good. Michael Damagala, 6 for 7 on the year, and the Tiger Cats are within 3 now. It's 6-3 Bombers still in the first quarter in Winnipeg. You're listening to the Ticats Audio Network.
This week on the Ticats Audio Network.
What I really remember more than anything there is one of our Grey Cup championship games in Calgary, where it was about 20 below zero, and I wound up with frostbite that hasn't left me since.
Wow. That's Marv Levy. Sat down with Luke and his father, Steve Tasker, this week to talk about his induction into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, one of his memories from the CFL. We have many interviews with many of the inductees on the Ticats Audio Network. How fun was it, Luke, to catch up with Marv Levy?
Man, he is just such an unbelievable guy. I mean, and what a great CFL coaching record, and of course at this time with the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, just a great football life, and it was just great talking to him. And I grew up walking around his locker room with my dad, and it was a really fun interview with Marv.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it was an excellent interview. The kickoff here goes out of bounds.
Legal kickoff out of bounds against Hamilton. First down, Winnipeg.
So, Tiger Cats not doing themselves any favors. It is a close game. Late in the opening quarter, 6-3 Winnipeg leading. But that will give the Bombers significantly better field position.
Yeah, all the way up to to their own 50-yard line. The Blue Bombers are going to start, and those penalties are just as costly as any other. And the Ticats really could have come away from what would have been a very impressive touchdown drive. Stephen Dunbar Jr. unable to hold on to that in the rain for what was a jump ball in the end zone.
Dunbar has a touchdown in each of the first 2 games for the Tiger Cats. He'd like to keep that going. He'll get more opportunities, you'd have to think, in this game. Zach Caleros this time handing off to Johnny Augustine, and Alden Darby right there. Julian Hauser in the mix to limit that gain to not very much for Augustine.
Alden Darby very, very quick in the backfield from his boundary half position to wrap up that run, and Blue Bombers showed some success on the ground early on, but that Julian Hauser sack forcing a little bit more pressure on Zach Caleros, and with a more successful run and pass stop as this first quarter continues.
It was a gain of about half a yard for Augustine, so it'll still be 2nd and 10. Flags fly as that ball is snapped. So we'll have to see what this penalty is.
Offside. Hamilton, number 98. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Okay. Both teams, RJ, 4 touchdowns on the season coming into this game. The Hamilton Tiger Cats all have been in the air, and of course we have not seen them on the ground yet tonight.
Yeah, surprising.
The Blue Bombers,
almost the end of the first quarter.
That's right. Blue Bombers three touchdowns in the air and 1 on the ground so far this year.
Tiger Cats offside. That'll move the Bombers up a little more, just on the Tiger Cats side of midfield. It's 2nd and 4, and Caleros under pressure from Dylan Wynn. Dylan Wynn had him, and Caleros was able to get the ball away, threw it incomplete, but Dylan Wynn getting the pressure on Caleros, and now we're starting to see a sustained pressure on the quarterback from the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, they're figuring it out a little bit. That was a great rush by Dylan Wynn, who had to miss the second game of the season, and his presence is already being known here tonight.
Bombers will have to punt for the first time. Mark Leggio, who has hit 2 field goals. He punts this to the right corner. That'll send Lawrence Woods over. It takes a high bounce, and he'll pick that up at about his own 12-yard line, and he was very close to the sideline. Not a lot of room to work, and the Bombers finally push him out of bounds just past the 20-yard line.
It's been productive so far tonight. I would say it's been encouraging from the Hamilton Tiger Cat offense. Some setbacks, but some of them overcome. Dane Evans has made a few very accurate, very timely passes, and oftentimes so far it has not been just from a comfortable position in the pocket. He's doing a good job controlling but not forcing.
Dane Evans late in the first quarter. Tiger Cats trailing by 3. There's the first handoff. It goes to Sean Thomas Earlington, and maybe that's why the Tiger Cats haven't been running the ball that much. The Winnipeg defense, led by Jackson Jeffcoat, got to Thomas Earlington quickly.
Yeah, nothing going there, and Sean Thomas Earlington will probably be a negative 2 or 3 yard carry to start off the run game.
So the rushing game has been non-existent for the Tiger Cats this season. Dane Evans, their leading rusher through 2 games with 23 yards. 2nd and 10, they're calling it. Hamilton still on their own 24. Dane Evans, that ball was wobbly, might have been tipped, but Tim White came over and made the catch. And the Tiger Cats are able to convert that 2nd down. The Tiger Cats keep it rolling with an active Green and Ross first down, and that moves them up to their own 42-yard line.
Again, overcoming a negative play early in a drive to keep it going. Great catch and adjustment by Tim White.
Dane Evans, empty backfield, so it won't be a running play. 3 receivers to either side. All on the near hash. Dane Evans looks to his left. That is the field side, and
Wow.
It is caught by Tim White. He's saying he caught it. The Bombers are saying he didn't, but it appears it is a completion and a first down presented by Active Green and Ross. The Tiger Cats keep it rolling, and there is a Tiger Cat down on the field.
Chris Van Zyl.
Oh, that's what I was afraid of.
That is an injury that the Ticats cannot afford to have right now. Unbelievable catch by Tim White up the seam to Dane Evans' left.
Brandon Revenberg not in this game, a perennial all-star for the Tiger Cats. He is ill. Chris Van Zyl, the other star on this offensive line, is on his hands and knees right now, and he's being looked at by the Tiger Cats training staff.
So the 6th offensive lineman comes in the game. That's Andrew Pickett. You know, when you're only suiting and traveling 6, that you have to be reasonably ready to back up all 5 positions. Very, very difficult to do. Ticats already have dealt with a great deal of adversity in this position group this season, and that Chris Van Zyl, who is walking off the field right now under his own power and gingerly, but that he is the anchor and the staple, along with Revenberg, who's already missing the game tonight. So really a difficult blow for the Ticat offense.
And it looks like Van Zyl, he's uncomfortable leaving the field, but getting off under his own power. And Travis Vorncall will move to that right tackle spot. I think that's the 3rd position that Vorncall's had to play on this offensive line, and into the 3rd game of the season. So he's been versatile for the Tiger Cats. Not an injury they needed. Last play of the quarter, it's complete to Stephen Dunbar, working his way to try to get to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 40-yard line. He is tackled there. And that is the end of the first quarter. Just 3 field goals in the opening quarter on a rainy night in Winnipeg. The Blue Bombers lead the Tiger Cats 6-3 after a quarter in Winnipeg. This is the Ticats Audio Network.
Hi, this is Dylan Wynn, number 98, your defensive tackle for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And we're back to the Hamilton Ticat Audio Network.
Second quarter in Winnipeg. Dane Evans on 2nd and 6 from the Winnipeg 42, throwing to his right, and it is incomplete. That's broken up by the cornerback, Demario Houston, the second-year player. And the Tiger Cats are going to try for another field goal, and this is a long one. So Michael Domagala looks like it's a 49-yard attempt coming up to try to tie the game. So Domagala standing right at the IG field at midfield, and a kick is up. The kick is good. So Michael Domagala with a 49-yard field goal, and he has hit both of his opportunities in this game, and it is tied at 6.
Great kick, a great test early on. He's already hit a 52-yarder this year. That one was for 49, and in inclement weather, it is still raining in Winnipeg, and 7 of 8 on the season, and Domagala doing a great job.
About 17 degrees Celsius in Winnipeg. Rain falling, as Luke mentioned. That will likely continue throughout this game. Wind gusting up to 26 kilometers per hour, but has not been a factor if you were at Tim Hortons Field last Saturday. It's not like it was there with the big gusts, but the rain is falling, and the field goal kickers have been perfect. Mark Leggio, Michael Domagala have hit 2 apiece. It's 6-all in Winnipeg. Early second quarter, Zach Caleros has 4 receivers to the field side and elects to hand it off. This is Brady Oliveira, and the Tiger Cats will hold him to a gain of 4.
Pretty decent first down efficiency on the ground for the Blue Bombers, and that's something that the Ticats, they've got to find a way to win without having that right now. And Chris Van Zyl leaving the game, presumably for the time being, that's not going to help that cause. The Ticat defense doing a decent job preventing these big plays after those early long throws that Zach Caleros was able to find.
Bombers on their own 44-yard line, Luke. It's a 2nd and 6. Zach Caleros bringing Drew Wolotarski in a little closer. Short pass, and that's exactly who he goes to. Wolotarski ran to that first down marker in the middle of the field, knew right where it was, got the pass, and got just enough for the first down.
Yeah, and it was Zach Caleros progressed from his left to his right. That was his third read, really more likely his check down, and just too easy, right over top of the ball, right at the first down marker.
Smart route running by Wolotarski to make sure if he caught that ball, it'd be good enough for a first down. 3 receivers to the field side. The handoff goes to Rashid Bailey, and he'll get across midfield into Hamilton territory for a Winnipeg first down right near the Hamilton 45-yard line.
That was a very well executed wide receiver handoff, end around to Zach Caleros left into the oncoming blitz with the Ticats, and that secondary was taken out by the wide receivers running those defensive backs off. Impressive wide receiver added into the run game there, like it's so common in the CFL.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. A lot of it from the Tiger Cats as well, but the Bombers moving the ball. They're in Hamilton territory again. They've only had to punt once in this football game. Couple of field goals. Zach Caleros, play action, wants to pass. The ball is tipped, and it goes incomplete. Jovan Santos Knox might have been the one to get a hand up and knock that pass down.
Well, you can see a difference right now in Mark Washington's defense. He's bringing a lot of pressure right now, a lot of five-man rushes, and after those early drives, they did a couple three-man rushes that Zach Caleros was able to just way too comfortable, and they're ticking up the pressure as the game progresses.
Santos Knox might have got a little tip on it, but Julian Hauser definitely got a hand on that pass. He's had some big plays, including a quarterback sack. Pressure coming on Caleros. He hangs in there and tries to complete to Dalton Schoen downfield, but Ciante Evans with a quick celebration after, because that was great coverage to knock the ball away and force the third down for the Bombers.
Little momentum there by the Blue Bomber offense, and they were finding a little bit of rhythm, but great second down stop there, and that was a cover zero from Mark Washington and brought everybody and Ciante Evans in perfect position.
Mark Leggio standing on his own 50-yard line, so the Blue Bombers will have to punt again. It is a 6-all football game. We're early in the second quarter in Winnipeg. It is a rainy night. A spiral to the corner that'll roll into the end zone for a single point. So Mark Leggio's punt goes into the end zone. The Blue Bombers take the lead again early in the second quarter. It is 7-6. The Bombers lead the Tiger Cats. We'll be back on the Ticats Audio Network. RJ Broadhead along with Luke Tasker. We're in the second quarter. Tiger Cats in Winnipeg. It is 7-6. Blue Bombers leading after a Mark Leggio single on the punt that went into the end zone. Some good news here, Luke. Chris Van Zyl back for the Tiger Cats.
Very good news.
What can you say about Travis Vorncall, who's moved all along that offensive line, filling holes? Dane Evans with time. He bought himself some time. Looking deep. That was intended for Braylon Addison. It was incomplete. And Addison very slow to get up. We know he was a game-time decision. He is up. That's the good news.
That was just awkward how he hit the turf. He was sort of extending, trying to make a play on the ball. I actually like Dane Evans throwing that up. That was probably 60 yards in the air. He's just giving his best receiver a chance to make a play on a ball. I don't mind seeing that a couple times a game, though that was a low probability catch.
So 2nd and 10 for the Tiger Cats from their own 40. Empty backfield. Dane Evans under pressure. Has to roll to his right. A flag flies. He completes that pass. This time a short one to Braylon Addison, who makes the catch. The Tiger Cats' leading receiver. It'll be short of the first down, but there is a flag.
I'm guessing this will get declined. I'm guessing it looks like a holding in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, it seemed like it, Luke.
Holding. Hamilton, number 62. Penalty is declined. It's third down.
Simon Laurier back out to do his job again, and he's been an impressive part of the Ticat efforts.
Yeah, the special teams has really limited any kick or punt returns, and Simon Laurier's position on these punts has been spectacular. American player, third game with the Tiger Cats. He had just signed with the Tiger Cats a couple of days before game one. This time, Janarian Grant, it will be inside the numbers, and he's able to get up across the 15-yard line. Looked like he might have something cooking, but the special teams got there and limited him to a 10-yard return. 7-6, the Blue Bombers lead the Tiger Cats. Winnipeg's offense coming back on the field. We'll be back on the Ticats Audio Network. Braylon Addison had a catch on that last Hamilton drive. Another good kick by Simon Larrier, a 60-yarder with a 10-yard return. Winnipeg looks like their worst starting field position so far tonight from their own 16. Play action from Collaros. He completes to Nick Dembski, and he's got a first down and a little bit more across the 30-yard line. So immediately the Bombers get a little breathing room from their goal line, and a flag flies late. So after the whistle went, a flag came out.
Looked to me like a Winnipeg foul, but you never know what the ref saw first before we see the flash of color, right?
Yeah. Winnipeg has been pretty tidy as far as the penalties are concerned.
Misconduct foul. Winnipeg, number 68. It's a 15-yard penalty after the play. It's first down.
So that'll bring Winnipeg back. Jeff Gray, the offensive lineman, with the misconduct foul. And the Bombers will be pushed back to their own 18-yard line.
Yeah, first down on 16, first down on 18. Now just repeat that drive there.
Just over 10 minutes to go in the half. Winnipeg a slim lead. It's 7-6. Zach Collaros dumps the pass off to Rasheed Bailey. He tried to break one tackle, then looked up, and there was Richard Leonard, Jovan Santos Knox, Cam Kelly, nowhere to go, and a very small gain, if any.
Cam Kelly from Sam linebacker position for the Ticats there. Such a hard player to open field block. He has that size and strength of that, strong safety in the CFL, that Sam linebacker body type, and so ferocious coming down to shed that block and make a tackle for a minimal gain.
In fact, it was a loss of 2, Luke, so the defense hungry, trying to keep this game close, give the offense a chance to get going. Big pressure on Collaros, and he hung in there, had to take a hit, completed the pass to Rasheed Bailey, who runs off to the right, and he's across the 20, but he will be short of a first down, and this should be a good exchange of field position for the Tiger Cats.
Great job with pressure. The first quarter was a little bit alarming how much time Zach Collaros had in the pocket, and the Ticats defense has really made it much harder of a time for him to get any kind of clean pass off.
Cam Kelly right there in the face of Collaros. And now Mark Leggio standing on about his own 6-yard line to punt this football. Lawrence Woods, the punt return leader in the CFL. Ball bounces, picks it up his own 40, runs into the middle of the field, and he's upended just a little shy of midfield with a 13-yard gain for Woods. 8.5 to go in the opening half. The Tiger Cats with good field position, trailing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers by 1. This is the Ticats Audio Network. Great to have you with us, RJ Broadhead, Luke Tasker. 8.5 to go, opening half. Tiger Cats with their best starting field position of the game, right at midfield. Dane Evans and his Tiger Cats down by 1 point. It's a little pitch to Pappy White, who broke a tackle immediately, and he was eyeing that first down marker. And he came very, very close. Might be a yard or two shy of the first down.
Craig Butler's special teams units, they're always trying to get at least one drive a game for their start, the drive start to be across the center line. They were 1 yard short of that this time, but Lawrence Woods returned very effective and short field to play with.
2nd and 2 here for Dane Evans and the Tiger Cats. It's a handoff to Sean Thomas Erlington, and it's a loss. It is a loss. Ran right into that Winnipeg defense, who comes up with a huge play. The running game just is not working right now for the Tiger Cats.
And you can see why we've had such a heavy dose of those wide receiver screens, wide receive pitches and handoffs there. Pappy White really effective, getting to the outside there, and then that traditional run up the middle to Sean Thomas Erlington just has not been something that the Ticats have been able to be productive on this season.
The 10-year vet out of Acadia, Jake Thomas, he got to Sean Thomas Erlington immediately. Hamilton officially with 2 runs in the game for -1 yard. Simon Larrier punting, And he's standing at his own 46-yard line. Laurier taking his time. Now he's set to punt. He'll send this to his right. Janarian Grant catches it, runs outside the numbers, gets to the outside, but there's Curtis Newton and Malik Carney right there to force him out of bounds. Again, a minimal gain. There is a flag on the play.
That was Lawrence Woods is actually covering these punts on the far outside right for the Ticats, which is sort of a cool combination of responsibilities. He's obviously the go-to return man for the Ticats, and he's running down from that gunner position there. He took too hard of an angle there. He let the out.
Number 44, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Okay, going back, marching backwards as the offense takes the field for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But Lawrence Woods a little too aggressive on his angle and gave up that outside leverage there for what was a decent return, albeit now they're called back to their own 8-yard line.
Lawrence Woods has been a nice find for the Tiger Cats. So Winnipeg, their worst starting field position, starting on their own 7-yard line this time. Field position starting to tilt toward the Tiger Cats. 6:44. The clock is running. That's all that's left in the half. Winnipeg leads the game by 1 point. A short pass, but Jamal Roll and Simone Lawrence there immediately to tackle Nick Dembski, who could not even take a step forward, but he hung on to the football.
This has been very back and forth. You know, you've got only field goals so far. Neither team's been able to convert a touchdown on their drives, but we've seen offensive production from both sides. Ticats, like you said, they've started to win the field position battle. They got that near the 50-yard line. If they can make this 2 and out right here at this play, they're going to get another chance at a short field.
It is 2nd and 5. Bombers on their own 12. Zach Caleros, 3 receivers to his right. Wind up in a bunch formation. The handoff goes to Brady Oliveira. He is tackled immediately by Julian Hauser. Malik Carney, Dylan Wynn, all right there. And Oliveira maybe got a yard, if anything. So now the Bombers are forced to punt again from deep in their own end.
What a great 2 and out by the Ticats defense. Deep in Winnipeg territory. They don't give up any time on that drive. Don't give Zach Caleros any momentum. They stop the pass, they stop the run, and now they're going to give their first Lawrence Woods a chance to get an explosive return off, and then they're going to put Dane Evans back on the field for a chance to try and go down there and get the first touchdown of the night.
It was Dylan Wynn who got the first touch on Brady Oliveira and would not let go. Just the grips of iron once he got his hands on Oliveira. Mark Leggio, a yard or 2 inside his own end zone to punt this football. And this is a good one, a really good punt. That pushes Pappy White back inside his own 40. So a great punt from Leggio from his end zone, and Pappy White will bring it across the Hamilton 50, close to midfield. But a 58-yard punt, and Bombers needed that.
Pappy White and Lawrence Woods back there, a split returner setup. We have seen Leggio sort of cross the field, and we saw a couple of his punts get a Winnipeg favorable bounce as well, and that was a booming kick. Still a good drive start here for Dane Evans.
Right near midfield on the Hamilton 51. Tiger Cats trailing by 1. Dane Evans passes to his left. It's complete to Tim White, who had a big game last week. He was the Tiger Cats' leading receiver last season, and he gets a first down that's presented by Active Green and Ross. The Tiger Cats keep it rolling.
There you go. Explosive pass play for the first down. Dane Evans lines up with no huddle.
On the 45-yard line of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Fresh set of downs. Dane Evans looks to his left, then to his right, throws it up to Stephen Dunbar Jr., and did he get that foot in bounds? I think he did.
Impressive throw there. Dane Evans all the way to the long side of his field, which was his right, and he threw that ball very quickly, well before Dunbar Jr. was out in position to catch that right on the sidelines. Great timing and execution. Really great athletic play there by Dunbar, too.
Yeah, really great concentration. He wasn't even looking at the sideline, but seemed to know where he was. He got the foot in and even dragged the second foot just to make sure. 2nd and 3. Hamilton's on the Winnipeg 38. Dane Evans, empty backfield. A lot of motion from the receivers. Looking for Braylon Addison. Tried to jam it in there, but good coverage on the play from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It was broken up by Donald Rutledge Jr., the rookie.
Yeah, that puts that drive to a stop there. But, RJ, the thing that stood out in the first half of the Calgary game at Tim Hortons Field, which was an unbelievable offensive performance, is that Dane Evans was dropping back in the pocket, finding his guy and getting rid of the ball. I mean, there was no time to get a pass rush there. That drive looked very similar. Dane Evans had his answer, he found it, and he was so decisive and in the right direction. A lot of good to come with more like that.
Yes, Luke, another field goal attempt here from Michael Domagala from 45 yards. This time it's not good, it's left. And Jadarian Grant looks like he will take a knee in the end zone. And a flag is on the field. The flag is right about at the Winnipeg 25-yard line. So fairly close to where the line of scrimmage was. Domagala now 2 for 3 field goal attempts in the game. That single is good enough to tie the game at 7.
Looks like this is going to be a holding on Winnipeg as that field goal rush flips sides, and all of a sudden now, you know, you start to begin to block for your return man, and looks like Cromdy actually it's holding on Domagala, the kicker. Totally unnecessary penalty. Yeah, that's one that Cromdy's going to hear about.
Winnipeg number 4, back half the distance. It's first down, Winnipeg.
Well, they called it on Adam Bighill, actually. I'm not sure if they got that number right, but another just brutal drive start for Winnipeg back on now their own 5-yard line.
Yeah, Tiger Cats haven't been able to take too much advantage of these rough Winnipeg field position starts here. Getting close to the 3-minute warning opening half, 7-7. No surprise, these two teams, very close game. Not high scoring, both have great defenses. High snap, Caleros tracks it down in his own end zone, shows patience. It's picked off. Richard Leonard picks it off. The Tiger Cats defense coming up big again. And now the offense will go to work late in the opening half to try to give the Tiger Cats the lead for the first time in the football game.
Richard Leonard gets that interception, but that was all a result of the Ticat front rush. Zach Caleros getting hit as he threw that ball in a really errant direction. Huge turn of events and a very, very costly moment to turn that ball over in their own end.
3-minute warning. The game is tied at 7. Tiger Cats with the pick, and they'll have good field position when we come back late in the half on the Ticats Audio Network. Well, be sure to email us at gameday@ticats.ca. You can win a pair of tickets for the next Ticat home game. Tell us where you're listening from. Again, it's gameday@ticats.ca, and we want to say hi to Ralph Liberty from Phoenix, Arizona. Cheryl Walker and her son in Hamilton. Jim Montag from Guatemala in Central America. So great to have Ralph, Cheryl, and her son, Jim. Great to have you from Guatemala. That's fantastic.
Awesome, Jim, thanks for joining us. That's pretty cool.
Yes. The Ticats Audio Network has some power. Be sure to email us at gameday@ticats.ca. We'll give you a little shout out. So, first half, Tiger Cats have not led. It is tied at 7, but Richard Leonard with the second interception of the year for the Tiger Cats has them on the Winnipeg 27-yard line. Play action, Dane Evans pass. Oh, Stephen Dunbar dove for it, and that was almost picked right back. Taekwon Glass got a hand on it, but he couldn't come up with it, and incomplete, which is maybe good news for the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, Dane got rid of that at the last second, and it was a bit off target, but it was Jake Thomas, 95, the tackle for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, was just right in his face and actually delivered quite the hit on Dane right before getting rid of that ball.
2 minutes, 49 seconds to go in the half. Tiger Cats trying to take the lead for the first time in the football game. 2nd and 10 from the Winnipeg 27. Short pass to the left. It's to Braylon Addison. Breaks one tackle, and that will be all he'll be able to break. Gets to the 25-yard line, but that's well short of the first down.
Yeah, unable to turn this into a touchdown here, and Domagala out to attempt his 4th field goal of the night already. Valuable points here, though. That's 2 left on the board. after the previous miss from Damagala.
Yeah, Luke, he's 2 for 3, 4th attempt of the game. This would give the Tiger Cats the lead for the first time tonight. Damagala's hit from 27 yards and 49 yards in the football game, and this one looks like it will be, let's see where Matthew Schultz is setting up, a 32-yarder. Damagala, rainy night, Schultz, clean hold, and Damagala's kick perfect. It's up, it's down the middle, and it is a lead for the Tiger Cats for the first time tonight. Tiger Cats, thanks to that field goal from Michael Damagala, have a lead against the 2-time defending Grey Cup champions. We've talked a lot about it, Luke. The second half, in particular the fourth quarter, is one to watch for the Tiger Cats. A close game. It will be important to finish this game strong.
Yeah, and you look back on the 2 weeks, this is sort of not unusual for Zach Collaros and the Winnipeg offense. The game is just sort of going back and forth. It's just sort of in no man's land right now until somebody takes it over. But the Ticats have to have the best second half of their season when they come back out on this field.
The Bombers, late in the half, the handoff goes to Brady Oliveira, and that's a strong run right up the middle, and he'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down. But against this Tiger Cats defense, that's a pretty good run.
How just tangible is it that there's one turnover in this game in favor of the Ticats, and they have a slight edge as a result of that? It's a battle to just keep the ball in your hand as long as you can.
It is almost too easy to
or too obvious.
Yeah. The turnover. If you win that battle, you lead or can win a football game. Just don't turn the ball over. Another handoff here on 2nd and 4, and the Tiger Cats defense all bunches up. Dylan went in there, Julian Hauser, and it looks like it's going to be a third down here for Winnipeg. I don't think they got the first down.
Yeah, and it's not close enough for an obvious sneak scenario. Lawrence Wood has already taken the field back to his punt return position.
So it's 3rd and 2. And definitely the Blue Bombers late in the opening half. They don't want to turn the ball over in their own territory. Mark Leggio out to punt. Lawrence Woods back on his own 27-yard line to return this punt. He's had a good year coming into this week. Lawrence Woods, the leading punt returner in the CFL. He'll drift back. It's another good kick from Leggio. Inside his own 10, Lawrence Woods runs to his right. That's the middle of the field. Breaking tackles. He's finally spun down at the 26 or 27-yard line of the Tiger Cats. There is a flag on the field with 1:42 to go. Tiger Cats have a 9-7 lead.
Tanner Cadwallader, number 47.
While the ball's in the air, holding Hamilton, number 21.
Yeah.
Half distance to goal. First down.
Luke, I know these get under your skin.
Oh, do they ever. Tanner Cadwallader really saved what would have been a big return. Obviously, it would have made me even more frustrated because that would have come back.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You hear that number 21, Simone Lawrence was on the field. The Ticats kept their defensive unit minus Tunde Adeleke, who's replaced by Lawrence Woods, the return man, but they keep that defensive starting unit on for what's called their punt safe, where they're really preventing from a fake punt or a short yardage situation. But Simone Lawrence finds himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Ticats in it with very, very difficult field position here.
Yeah, it can't get much worse. Starting from their own 3, Dane Evans runs about 10 yards into the end zone, throws to his right. He was looking for a long completion to Stephen Dunbar, but the ball was out of bounds. Dunbar had no chance. It's incomplete.
No, Dane Evans had the right idea there. He ended up on the ground at the end of that play as the pressure came in, but he got the ball to the right place, which was Stephen Dunbar Jr. deep on the sidelines for a comeback. But
major foul, roughing the passer. Winnipeg, number 95.
Well, there we go.
15 yards, automatic, first down.
So that gives the Tiger Cats a little break from their own end zone.
Chris Van Zyl was not pleased with how that play ended, and neither were the refs, as it turns out. And that Jake Thomas called for the 15-yarder.
Yeah, he actually tripped over Kay Okafor, and his momentum hit Dane Evans quite low around the knee area. Here's a handoff to Sean Thomas Erlington, and he's determined to make something happen on the ground, and he does. Breaks a couple of tackles, a hard run. He'll be just shy of the Hamilton 30-yard line and very close to a first down.
One of the most productive runs of the season, and that was an excellent second and third effort after initial contact was made. Sean Thomas Erlington spinning around and staying on his feet.
2nd and 1. Sean Thomas Erlington gets it again. A nice spin move, breaks another tackle, runs into the back of Travis Vorncall, who was downfield a little bit blocking, and that slowed Sean Thomas Erlington down. But it is a Tiger Cats first down presented by Active Green and Ross. The Tiger Cats keep it rolling.
Look at that, back-to-back runs for a first and second down, move the chains. That's a new look.
Defense didn't expect it.
Okay, you're on to it. That's good. Sean Thomas Erlington, though, just workhorse, man. He's just, and actually, sure enough, there he is taking a knee on the field right now. Something bothering him, but two really, really hard runs there. And the Ticats, just like that. I mean, a penalty on Jake Thomas, the D tackle for Winnipeg. Two productive run plays, and the Ticats have dug themselves out of what was a really, really difficult place to start what may be their last drive of the half. It started on their 3-yard line. Now they're back up to their 35 with a chance to sort of take a breath and put together a more standard offensive drive to try to get some more points before the half ends.
Officially, the score is 9-7. We're still in the first half. If you're tuning into the Ticats audio network, there was a 30-minute weather delay at the start of this football game. They delayed the start. There was lightning in Winnipeg. So we're very close to the end of the half. Minute 23 to go. Tiger Cats lead the Bombers 9-7, and Sean Thomas Erlington looking strong as he gets off the field over to the Hamilton sideline under his own power. Tiger Cats, 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line, leading by 2. Just over a minute to go in the half. Dane Evans drops back. Here comes the pressure. Tried to dump it off as they were closing in. Jackson Jeffcoat was the closest to Evans, and he had to get rid of that football.
That would have been set up for what could have been an enormous gain on a running back screen to Malik Irons to Dane's left. And just a little bit too quick on the rush. Jackson Jeffcoat did a fantastic job of batting that out of the air. Malik Irons would have had a 30-yard sprint before getting touched.
You're right, Luke. The reaction of Dane Evans, he knew it too. Big play by Jeffcoat. 2nd and 10. Hamilton on their own 35. Dane Evans with time has to scramble to his left. Now he throws, and it was intended for Dunbar. At least he was the closest receiver. It's incomplete as the pressure was coming for Evans, and he made sure that the Bombers did not get to him. But the Tiger Cats will have to punt. And the Bombers getting this ball back late in the opening half, trailing by 2. Rainy night in Winnipeg. Simon Larrier. He has been a great find for the Tiger Cats, standing on his own 21-yard line to punt this football. Tiger Cats defense has been strong again tonight. Janarian Grant picks it up at his own 35. Outside the numbers, cuts to the inside. Breaks a tackle. Now he's finally brought down. Curtis Newton in on the tackle. So was Lawrence Woods. You mentioned him, Luke, playing on both sides of special teams. And that's an important tackle. But the Bombers, with 51 seconds to go, are very close to midfield to begin this drive.
Yeah, one of their better drive starts of the night here. And 51 seconds in the end of the second quarter is plenty of time to move the ball down the field into to points territory here and see if Zach Caleros can put something together. It has been a quiet offensive quarter for them since a few explosives in the first quarter.
Leggio perfect on the season, 6 for 6. Has not had a lot of long field goals this season, though. Zach Caleros throws up the middle, and it looked like Tunde Adeleke might have been the closest to come up with that football, so the Tiger Cats secondary almost came up with another interception. It's incomplete, though.
Yeah, Jovan Santos Knox, Mike linebacker, was dropping back to cover that seam to Zach Caleros' right. And boy, there was a miscommunication there with the Winnipeg offense, and if only Tunde Adeleke could have known where that ball would have gone, it would have been an easy interception for him, but still a great defensive stop there on first down.
That tip by Santos Knox might have prevented Tunde from making that interception. 2nd and 10, Winnipeg on their own 51. Defense trying to get a stop here. Caleros passing again. It is complete. Inside Hamilton territory. Greg Ellingson, his favorite second down target. And it's a first down for Winnipeg with 41 seconds to go.
Greg Ellingson, always great at bringing that ball in traffic and just to catch in an immediate tackle, but sure-handed.
Winnipeg on the Hamilton 41. Zach Caleros throwing deep, looking for the end zone. Ciante Evans, a great defensive play to knock it away from Dalton Schoen. A fantastic play by Ciante Evans in the Hamilton secondary. That's presented by my insurance broker.
Boy, Ciante Evans is hanging his head down. That it would have been a very, very athletic interception with really one hand, but he felt like he could have hauled it in. That's the second time we've seen him make a huge pass breakup downfield.
Tiger Cats secondary getting a lot of hands on footballs here. Already one interception from Richard Lewis. 2nd and 10. Winnipeg on the Hamilton 41. Caleros stays in the pocket, throwing deep again. Looking for the end zone. Nick Dembski has it in front of Tunde Adeleke. And he's going to be marked down at the 1. That was very close to a touchdown, but what a play by Winnipeg with 23 seconds to go. They've got sure points here.
Wow. I mean, just throwing it up there. True cover zero. Yeah, 7 guys in the rush and really 50-50 ball at most. I mean, and just a great play on it by Nick Dempsey.
No panic from these Bombers. The handoff goes to Brady Oliveira from the Hamilton 1, and he gets that 1 yard with no trouble. It's a touchdown for Winnipeg. First touchdown of the football game goes to the Bombers. It's late in the opening half, and Winnipeg, with 18 seconds to go, is up 13-9 with a convert on the way.
Man, that cover zero call, I like that from Mark Washington, and they did get in there and make Zach Caleros either throw that ball away, get rid of it quick, or get sacked. And you know, Tunde Adeleke really in good position there on that as well. It's just a really hard throw to adjust to, and Nick Dempsey was able to get his eyes and his hands around in time.
Mark Leggio hasn't struggled with field goals, but 1 for 3 in converts this season for Winnipeg. But this time he hits his second convert of the season, and that increases Winnipeg's lead in the football game to 14-9 with 18 seconds to go in the half. So it looked like Tiger Cats might have a lead going into the half, but Winnipeg gets their best drive of the game. Nick Dembski, a big part of it. 5 receptions, 86 yards. That drive went 5 plays for 59 yards, and it only took 51 seconds. See if the Tiger Cats can make something happen with 18 seconds to go. All of a sudden, trailing by 5.
We'll see the return team takes the field here. Lawrence Woods, I mean, this would be the time for an explosive return, but hard to really put a drive together with 18 seconds left without taking maybe what is undue amount of risk, you know, with a long ball or some other sort of high-risk play. But we'll see. I mean, really not a first half to be totally disappointed with by the Ticats. The game was very much so back and forth until that throw there at the end broke it open a little bit.
Mark Leggio with the kickoff. Lawrence Woods drifts back inside his own 10, back to his own 5. Running along the numbers. Stutter step, now tries to pick up speed. And he got just across the 30-yard line, and the Bombers stop him there. And that took 6 seconds off the clock. So 12 seconds to go for Dane Evans in this Tiger Cats offense before the end of the half. Dane Evans, 14 for 25 in the game for 153 yards, has not thrown a touchdown nor an interception. Came in second in passing yards, first in completions, first in attempts, and he has a lot of those in the opening half. Dane Evans back to pass, looking for a big chunk here, but again, it's thrown out of bounds. Stephen Dunbar was the closest receiver to it, and that might have just been with the pressure coming, wanted to get rid of the football.
Yeah, really just threw that away with Winnipeg getting a pretty productive rush there. 2nd and 10, 7 seconds left here.
What do you think, Luke?
Well, the clock won't start until the ball snaps in this situation, and you kind of just hope that you end out the quarter, with this play.
Dane Evans, hands off. Sean Thomas Erlington puts his shoulder down, takes a hard hit at the very end from Rutledge Jr., and it is a first down. The Tiger Cats keep it rolling with an active Green and Ross first down. They will get one more chance here. There is a second on the clock before the end of the half.
Really a great run there by Sean Thomas Erlington, though it won't make a difference in this game. They'll take the victory position knee here.
So that is the end of the half. A low-scoring half until the Bombers got that touchdown late. What does that do for momentum, Luke, for a team going into the half when you give up a touchdown late?
It is hard, honestly, but it was just one of those touchdowns there. It was by no means a great play by Winnipeg. It was a great move on the ball by Nick Dembski, but it was just a 50-50 ball. You're going to get some and you're going to not get some of those. It's not like the Ticats defense gave up a great drive there, like we saw in some of those drives in the third quarter of last week with Calgary. Those kind of things really take the wind out of your sails. This is tough. You're down by really more than it really feels like, right? I mean, that was very back and forth, and the Ticats had just as many reasons in that half to feel good about this game as did the Blue Bombers. And if you can convert a couple of those field goals attempts and change one or two of those into a touchdown, this thing's going to be entirely different in the second half.
With a half-hour weather delay at the start of the game, it'll be a short half, just 10 minutes. The Blue Bombers at halftime lead the Tiger Cats 14-9 with Steve Clark and Andy Fantus. They're coming up with Tiger Cats at the half, next on the Ticats Audio Network.
Hi, this is Sean Thomas Erlington, number 31 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and you are listening to the Ticat Audio Network.
Tiger Cats in Winnipeg trailing as we get set for the second half to get going. It's 14-9 for the Tiger Cats. We just heard from Sean Thomas Erlington, who had 30 yards rushing in that opening half. That's the best rushing game, and it's only a half for a Tiger Cat this season. So we'll see if he can build on that in the second half. Tiger Cats kicking the ball off to the Blue Bombers, and it'll be brought past the 35, close to the 40-yard line, a gain of 17 for the Bombers on that return.
Still, this game is wide open. One of these teams has got to do something to take over. Really great touchdown connection there. Zach Collaros, Nick Dembski at the end of the first half, but nothing for the Ticats to be upset about. Just hungry. I mean, they're playing consistently. They're playing well. They have not turned the ball over. Just missing those big plays and those scoring plays. This third quarter will be huge to see who can take the lead and win this quarter.
For the Bombers this year, it's been a theme of finding a way. That late touchdown in the opening half. Here's a handoff to Brady Oliveira. Initially wanted to go up the middle, decides to cut it to the left, gets to the outside, and he's got a first down.
All Brady Oliveira in the run game tonight for Winnipeg. Johnny Augustine has been a part of it this season as well, but they've been able to make some hay there in the run game, and it's been a problem last week against Calgary for the Ticat defense. There was some production in the run game for Calgary, and Oliveira also tonight has had a few really beneficial first downs for Winnipeg.
Bombers have moved up to their own 46-yard line. It's a fresh set of downs. We're early in the second half. Bombers up by 5. Another handoff to Oliveira. Wanted to go left this time, and then he tried to cut up the middle, and Dylan Wynn was a big part of limiting the gain to just 2. There were a couple other Tiger Cats in there, including Jovan Santos Knox and Mason Bennett.
Yeah, good stop there. Again, the Ticats defense, as they've gotten pushed back at times tonight, they've hit that moment where they've stuffed that first down and created that tough second down situation for Winnipeg. And apart from that long, low probability throw and connection, they've done a good job of stopping Zach Collaros short of score zone.
That's right, Luke. 2nd and 8 here for Zach Collaros. Empty backfield, looks to his left, now up the middle, throws in tight coverage, completes to Nick Dembski. And Richard Leonard, Tunde Adeleke both in on that tackle, and he was right near that first down marker. He was pushed back after the tackle, but his forward momentum had enough to get the first down and get into Tiger Cats territory.
Well, Nick Dembski either maybe got a soft tissue injury that he knows, because he's pounding his fists on the ground and sitting on the turf with his helmet off with that demeanor of somebody who knows what just happened to their own body, you know, and he's clearly upset. Sitting up, I mean, he's speaking with his trainers now, but hopefully he's not injured too badly. It's something at this tackle here, got tangled up in some kind of lower body injury, and he's limping off now.
Yeah, not putting any weight on that left leg. He's hopping off. Tunde Adeleke looked like might have fell on Nick Dembski's ankle. The star from the University of Manitoba was having a big game. 6 receptions, 96 yards. He was a big part of the only touchdown in the game that Winnipeg got late in the half. And he's limping to the Winnipeg sideline and now to the training table. So we'll see if number 10 for Winnipeg comes back. He did get the Bombers a first down on that play. And they're in Hamilton territory, just barely on the Hamilton 51-yard line. Another handoff. Bombers keep trying it, and it's a good tackle by Cam Kelly, who got into Oliveira early.
Nick Dembski on the last play came all the way from the left side of the field on a deep dig, 12, 15 yards, and as he came across the field, he shaved his route back underneath the coverage, which was actually Julian House there, by the way. There was some unique blitz combination that number 95 was back deep and with Tunde Adeleke, but just really savvy play by Nick Dembski, impressive, and Zach Collaros patient enough to find him and wait for him to shave back underneath that.
Hamilton run defense held Oliveira to just 1 yard, so 2nd and 9 from the Hamilton 50. Collaros wants to pass. There's a wave of Tiger Cats coming, and Dylan Wynn was getting some hands on Collaros, and he quickly threw that ball away. It's incomplete. The Bombers will have to punt, and Collaros looks slightly uncomfortable as he gets up hobbling.
Great pass rush there by the Hamilton defense. Tunde Adeleke coming in and adding into that blitz, but it's Dylan Wynn who put the final pressure on, making Zach Collaros get rid of it.
Hamilton defense sturdy to begin the second half. Bombers will have to punt. Mark Leggio. He'll send this to the right corner, and it takes a bounce and goes to the left. So Pappy White there. It rolls into the end zone. He'll take a knee. And the Tiger Cats will take the single point. And it'll be 14-10 early in the second half.
15-9, right? So they're going to let that punt go into the end zone there.
Pardon me.
Winnipeg will get the single.
Yes.
Probably a decent decision. Makes it a 6-point game, and they're going to not get pinned back what would have been on their 1 or 2 yard line there.
15-9, Winnipeg leads the Tiger Cats. Hamilton offense coming on the field when we come back on the Tiger Cats Audio Network. Great to have you with us. Dane Evans, first possession for the Tiger Cats in the second half. A throw up the middle, caught by Tim White, and it's a gain of 5 halfway to the first down. Tiger Cats on their own 46-yard line. 2nd and 4. Tiger Cats trailing the Blue Bombers in Winnipeg by 6 points early in the second half. Braylon Addison heading to Dane Evans' right. There's 4 receivers over to the field side. He goes to his left, and the lone receiver there is Stephen Dunbar Jr., who gets across midfield, and the Tiger Cats keep it rolling with an active Green and Ross first down.
the best that Hamilton's offense has looked throughout this season in this 2.5 games is when Dane is getting the ball out quickly, and he's doing a great job right now.
A fake pitch to Tim White. The pitch actually goes to Braylon Pappy White, and it's a loss of 5. So Winnipeg, they saw that one coming.
Yeah, I don't want to call it a trick play, but definitely a unique formation. Ticat receivers were clustered to Dane Evans' right. Everyone kind of flowed to the right side, and Pappy White snuck back to the left, and that did not happen the way it was planned. Willie Jefferson right there for the stop.
Pushes the Tiger Cats back, 2nd and 14, now on their own 51-yard line. Dane Evans looks to his right, has to backpedal. Pressure's coming, dumps it off. It's a great catch by Sean Thomas Erlington. He had to one-hand it, and he will get back across midfield, but it won't be enough for the first down.
Yeah, athletic and hard-earned 5 yards, but not going to do it for 2nd and 15. Still valuable. Ticats at the center line on the field now, and Laurier gets a chance to flip this field and make Zach Collaros and his group run the full length.
Both defenses coming up big to begin this second half. Just one touchdown in the game. Winnipeg got it on a 1-yard run from Brady Oliveira. That was late in the first half, and Winnipeg leads by 6. Laurier punts off to his left. Janarian Grant on his own 7-yard line. Has pretty good coverage ahead of him. Gets up to the 20, and the Tiger Cats special team has been excellent. This year, they are able to bring down Grant. So it is a 15-9 lead for the Blue Bombers. Collaros and the Winnipeg offense coming back on the field. This is the Ticats Audio Network. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody, for emailing gameday at ticats.ca. Steve Gifkins in Belleville, Cheryl McCutcheon in Hannon, Sam Quinn in London, and Bill Vaction on his boat in Lake Muskoka enjoying a beautiful evening. A little nicer in Muskoka than Winnipeg this evening. A half-hour delay to begin this game due to lightning. It's been pretty steady rain all evening in Winnipeg, but temperature's decent, about 17 degrees Celsius. Wind has not been a factor. 9 minutes to go, third quarter. Bombers lead by 6. It's 15-9. Zach Collaros under pressure, rolls to his right, can't get away, and he is sacked by Cam Kelly, who gets to Collaros and pushes the Bombers back even more.
What a great timed blitz there. Cover 10, that's Tunde Adeleke high, free safety, and then man coverage, and everybody else blitzes. From the right side, Cam Kelly comes around the edge for a huge sack for a loss, and that is something that's been missing from the Ticats defense in the first 2 weeks.
Second sack of the season for the Tiger Cats. A defensive lineman doesn't have one. Tunde Adeleke had one earlier in the year, and now Cam Kelly. A loss of 9. 2nd and 19. Winnipeg on their own 12. Pass dumped off to Brady Oliveira. Gets to his left, and he will be very close, just past the original line of scrimmage, so it won't be enough for a first down. However, there are a few flags. In fact, all the flags might be on the field.
Yeah, everybody saw it. Cam Kelly came up and chopped down an offensive lineman who was coming downfield to block, and you can't take on a block that way, and this is going to
legal low block. Hamilton, number 11. It's a 10-yard penalty. It remains second down.
Okay, great. So not an automatic first down there. Still going to be much more favorable second down position after what was Cam Kelly's sack for a huge loss there.
And Julian Hauser did have a sack earlier in this game, so the Tiger Cats have doubled up their sack total with a couple in this game. 8:13 to go in the third quarter.
Great play there by Richard Leonard to make that tackle.
So 2nd and 9 for the Bombers from their own 22-yard line. 4 receivers to the left of Zach Collaros. Looks up the middle, and wide open is Drew Wolotarski. And he's up across the 35-yard line. It is a first down for Winnipeg. There wasn't a Tiger Cat near him when he caught that football.
Yeah, that's Mark Washington. They're bringing pressure, which they have had success with tonight. And Zach Collaros is being rushed in the pocket, and I think that was a quick change after what was a first quarter where he was really just throwing on air. And when you bring that secondary unit in on the blitz, that leaves that large hole there right over the ball, and Zach Collaros able to find it and take advantage of it.
Converting a big second down, Collaros, a quick pass, slings it off to his left. It is complete. About halfway to the first down, it was Rashid Bailey who made the catch, lost the helmet, but that didn't seem to stop him. He hung on to the football.
Those penalties, so costly. I mean, such a great defensive sack there at the start of this drive. And then that penalty on Cam Kelly to give a little bit of life back and a little opportunity for the Winnipeg offense. And now they're kind of have their feet underneath them on this drive on their own 41.
2nd and 6 for the Bombers. Zach Collaros, 3 receivers to the field side. Ball on the far hash mark. Collaros throwing over the middle again. It's a completed pass to Brendan O'Leary-Orange. And the Bombers are into Hamilton territory with another first down.
Again, pressure coming, but Zach Collaros with just enough time to set his feet and find his guy. That was Cam Kelly in coverage there. Nice dig route.
Bombers steadily moving the ball on this drive. Here's play action to Brady Oliveira, and the pass goes to Greg Ellingson, who makes his 3rd reception of the game and battles to try to get to the first down. He will be close, but it looks like he'll be just short.
2nd and 1 on your opponent's 41-yard line. If this is me right now, RJ, I would be taking a shot at the end zone. You know what I think about 2nd and short. But Winnipeg offense and a couple great plays made by some receivers here on this drive, but also the Ticat defense at a few times I think missing some opportunities, and of course with a costly penalty here. But Winnipeg finding a little rhythm in this 3rd quarter, and that has sort of been happening early on in this season to the opponents of the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Defense would like to put a stop to it now. Just over 5 minutes to go. 3rd quarter, Winnipeg short yardage, and they will get the first down. Coming in for the short yardage was Joe Mancuso. Actually, it was Drew Brown. It was under center, number 6 for the Bombers. Backup quarterback. So the Bombers continue to get some first downs here in the 3rd. They're up 15-9. Now on the Hamilton 39-yard line. Mark Leggio has not missed a field goal this season. Zach Collaros, 4 receivers off to the field side. That's to his left, wide side of the field. Handoff goes to Brady Oliveira. Breaks a tackle against Ted Laurent, and it would have been a pretty big loss, but he turned it into some positive yardage. A gain of 6 for Oliveira, battling hard to make sure he was able to get past Ted Laurent.
Another, just a slight miss, and it's no mental error, no real mistake, just a physical error there. And if Ted Laurent wraps that up in the backfield, albeit it is a hard tackle, wraps that up in the backfield, you're looking at a 2nd and 14 now compared to a 2nd and 4. And the Blue Bombers are now well into Leggio's field goal range. A field goal here makes it a 2-point game. Unfortunately, this is how these second halves have started to get away from the Ticats. It's just this steady, slow-moving force of momentum in the opponent's favor.
2nd and 4, another second down here for the Bombers. Delayed handoff, decides not to do it. The pass steep. Rashid Bailey just out of his reach, a little too far. Tunde Adeleke, good coverage. Ball goes incomplete.
You can hear the Winnipeg fans there hoping for a flag on that. And they're still calling to have this challenged. I think Tunde Adeleke, he's in good position. He keeps his face mask towards the ball. Sort of a tumble at the end with both players, but I don't know. I don't mind the no call here.
It looks like the There's a little stall. Mike O'Shea waiting, and he will send out the field goal team. So Mark Leggio, a couple of field goals in this game. He's 6 for 6 on the year. And this would make it a 2-possession game, as you mentioned, Luke. It's a 40-yard attempt for Leggio to try to stay perfect on the season. And you bet, down the middle, can't get much better than that. Leggio 7 for 7 on the season. He's hit 3 field goals in this game. And the Blue Bombers extend their lead against the Tiger Cats to 18-9. There's 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Bombers are up by 9. Tiger Cats will try to get something back when we come back on the Ticats Audio Network. Welcome back, RJ Broadhead with Luke Tasker. Tiger Cats, they're down by 9. Third quarter, trying to get a better second half. Dane Evans threw it at the feet of Stephen Dunbar, goes incomplete. We've seen that a lot more from Dane Evans in this game than any other time in this season, where he's not forcing things as much. He seems content to throw the ball away and not turn the ball over.
Yeah, I mean, you start with the low-hanging fruit when you're trying to fix something, and the easiest answer is to not turn the ball over after the first 2 weeks, and he's obviously making an effort to ensure that his team gets the ball back each play.
And they're from their own 40, needing to get something going. It's complete to Tim White. It's a big gain for the Tiger Cats. Tiger Cats keep it rolling with an active Green and Ross. First down.
How dangerous is Tim White when he gets the ball in his hands in the open? He breaks the first tackle there on the field half. Just a yard or two more space, and he could have been gone just with that takeoff speed that he has. Great play.
So athletic, up to the Winnipeg 50. Dane Evans, low snap, rolls to his right, dumps it off to Sean Thomas. Erlington breaks one tackle, and then he's brought down. A gain of 6 on that play.
STE always spinning and tumbling for a few extra yards there. 2nd and 5. Really great conversion there for that 2nd and 10 there to Tim White. Again, and we were just talking about Dane. At this moment in the game, he just took a little bit momentum back with those 2 completions in a row. You have to double down on your mentality of not forcing anything. There is plenty of time left in this game to make these points back.
That was a big second down conversion. Tiger Cats came in, converting just 36% of the time on second down. Dane Evans looking deep for Stephen Dunbar Jr., and he just couldn't catch up to that football. It was over his head, incomplete. And they won't convert this second down. So Simon Larrier will be...
Oh, they're gonna give it a shot here.
Okay. So it is Michael Damagala. He has hit from 49 yards, 27 yards, and 32 yards. This one will be 51 yards for Michael Damagala. The hold, the kick, it's drifting to the left. It is wide left. And Janarian Grant brings it out of the end zone. Tripped up and finally brought down just past the Winnipeg 20-yard line. So the Tiger Cats can't cut into this Blue Bombers lead. It's 18-9 for Winnipeg late in the third quarter. We'll be back on the Ticats Audio Network.
This week on the Ticats Audio Network.
So I walk up to this guy. I'm like, God, this is a big-ass guy right now. I'm like, my goodness. I was like, so, man, what position you play? He was like, safety. I have no chance.
That's defensive end and Hall of Famer Joe Montford on his first impressions of Rob Hitchcock. Day one in Hamilton as he visited with Mike Moriali and Hitch for a great conversation this week. Moriali and Hitch is the show. It's on the Ticats Audio Network. The Blue Bombers have had a strong defense back in those days with Montford and Hitch, and this year they've held Winnipeg to 18 points. The Bombers with the ball again, minute and a half to go, third quarter. Defense needs a big stop here for the Tiger Cats. They can't let the Bombers get any further ahead. Winnipeg starting on their own 20-yard line. Empty backfield for Zach Collaros, and he's throwing deep off to the right, and it's just out of the reach of Rasheed Bailey.
Jamal roll in coverage there, and again, Mark Washington's defense, they are just bringing pressure and pressure and pressure and making Zach Collaros make a decision quickly. It was a nice hitch and go there, but just thrown a little outside, and that you can credit to the Hamilton front rush. You hear Moriali and Hitch. If I could be a part of another Ticat team, I'd go back to '99, I think, and be a part of those guys. It's just too much fun,
It sounds like it was a little different time back then. 2nd and 10 here for the Bombers from their own 20. Zach Collaros, another 2nd down, and Dalton Schoen makes the catch. He gets across the 35, and the Bombers convert the 2nd down. Keep this drive going. They've had a couple of good drives in the 3rd quarter, taking time off the clock, adding points. They're up by 9.
That's the Winnipeg response to the pressure that they've been getting from Hamilton, and that was just a nice quick answer right at the 10-yard mark for Zach Collaros to get the ball out of his hand and not deal with that rush again.
4 receivers off to the left. Now Rasheed Bailey cuts in front. Play action from Collaros. He's got all kinds of time and spots the open receiver. It's Drew Wolotarski. He's made the catch. It's another 1st down for Winnipeg, and he's very close to midfield. Deontay Evans was down for a moment. He got back up. He's going to stay in the game, limping a bit, but now he's running. It looks to be okay.
This is how this season has gone for Winnipeg. They have not had flashy or overly impressive starts, and then somehow Collaros and his guys start finding a little bit of rhythm and piecing and just piecing away and piecing it together with points here and there.
Last play of the 3rd quarter, Collaros, a fake throw. Now he'll dump it off, and Tunde Adeleke was close to picking it off, but it was caught. A strong catch by Brendan O'Leary-Orange for 5 yards, and that's it for 3 quarters. The 4th quarter, it has been a struggle for the Tiger Cats this year. We'll see what they can do. They are down 18-9 to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 4th quarter is coming up on the Ticats Audio Network. Tiger Cats in Winnipeg taking on the 2-time defending Grey Cup champions. It is the Bombers leading 18-9, and the 4th quarter has arrived. We've talked a lot about it this week, and the Tiger Cats are in a hole, different than last week where they were trying to protect a lead. The Bombers with the ball. They're on the Hamilton 54-yard line to begin the 4th quarter. It's 2nd and 6. Zach Collaros been strong on 2nd down, but he's under pressure. He is sacked. Alden Darby Jr. brings down Collaros, and the 3rd sack of the game for the Tiger Cats. So they came in with 1 sack, and they've finally got some pressure on Collaros, and that's a big stop for the defense.
Yeah, just excellent rush, and just like we can credit some of these errant throws from Collaros on this, the pressure that they're getting, that time you can really add some of the credit for that sack on the coverage. That was a beautiful man coverage, and Zach just had no place to go.
11-yard loss on the Darby sack. Mark Leggio, he'll kick this off to his left. It's a short kick, takes a high hop. Lawrence Woods has to jump up to get it at his own 15, spins away from one tackle, tries to get out to his right, and he's brought down just shy of the Hamilton 20-yard line.
Yeah, pretty impressive kick and coverage from the Blue Bomber punt team there. Great direction on the kick by Leggio, outside the numbers and deep, and Ticats have with some work to do here for this 4th quarter, and here goes, RJ. We've been talking about it and waiting for it to see what this is going to look like, and they've got a long field to start with, but some points to do and some points to be proven here from the Ticat offense.
4 receivers off to the left of Dane Evans. Fakes the handoff to Sean Thomas Erlington and rolls to his right. He tucks the ball and he slides. So Dane Evans, who has had a few fumbles, slid almost immediately. Normally we'd see him try to get to that 1st down flag.
You sound disappointed, RJ, in the slide. You're right. It was a little quick. It was a little preemptive, but I'm telling you, I think Dane has a mindset of not making a crucial error right now, and 2nd and 7 is a lot better than a turnover in your own end.
Yes, hey, I'm not disappointed. Positive yardage. It's a good play by Dane.
Agreed.
And the Tiger Cats drive continues. 2nd and 7 from their own 22. Dane Evans throws to his left. See, that's a good slide because it sets up a first down. It's complete to Pappy White. The first down presented by Active Green and Ross. The Tiger Cats keep it rolling.
Yeah, beautiful play there. Pappy White on a little 8-yard hitch to Dane Evans' left, moving the chains and spreading the ball around. Pappy White's gotten it from the backfield and out at receiver as well tonight.
Third first down for the Tiger Cats in the second half. They're down by 8 early in the fourth quarter. High snap. Dane Evans got it and immediately gave it to Sean Thomas Erlington. I'm not sure what happened with that snap, but Sean Thomas Erlington was able to get it close to the line of scrimmage.
Jesse Gibbon playing at center right now for the Ticats, and unfortunately the Hamilton run game can't really afford any sand in the gears. You know, it's got to be a perfect operation in the backfield, and that was a loss of 1 to make it 2nd and 11 here.
Hamilton on their own 30-yard line, 2nd and long. Dane Evans, a low snap. He gets it, no problem. Fakes a pass, and he's brought down. He's sacked by Willie Jefferson. And Willie Jefferson, we haven't said his name a lot in the game, but he comes up with a big sack there on Dane Evans, and the Tiger Cats will be forced to punt. And the Bombers are going to maintain their 9-point lead.
Wow, right back to where this drive started at their own 20-yard line. All that offensive gain negated, and Winnipeg is sure to get reasonable field position here, even with a good punt from Laurier.
Yeah, he's standing in his own 6-yard line. Janarian Grant at his own 40. 11:26 to go. Bombers lead the Tiger Cats by 9. There is an injured Bomber on the field.
RJ, this is how it goes sometimes. It's not, there hasn't been anything catastrophic on its own here in the second half, but Winnipeg has gained distance. You know, they were in the lead, and they've just gained distance and momentum just ever so slightly. And this is how games just slip away from you, and you go back to the locker room sometimes not really knowing exactly what went wrong. And it's not really that obvious, but the Ticats sort of need that, you know, classic little spark here. They need something kind of to bust open, whether it's an explosive pass play, a big return, a defensive turnover. Something's got to give here to break the mold of this slow crawling Winnipeg lead.
Defensive end rookie L.B. Mack was the injured Bomber, got off under his own power. Simon Laurier, his punt, caught by Janarian Grant at his own 46-yard line, runs to his left, looked like he might have had an opening, tried to cut it back up the middle, and Jake Burt, part of the special teams, who brought Janarian Grant down. So not much of a gain for Grant on that return, but it's still good field position for the Bombers as they will begin just shy of their own 50. They lead the Tiger Cats 18-9 here in the fourth quarter. We'll be back on the Ticats Audio Network. Blue Bombers lead the Tiger Cats 18-9. Bombers 2-0 this season. Tiger Cats 0-2. Never had a losing streak of more than 2 games in a row last season. Tiger Cats were able to stop the bleeding at 2 losses in a row. This is a difficult task in Winnipeg. A rainy night. Down by 9, and the Bombers starting with good field position. They'll begin from their own 49-yard line. Zach Caleros and the Bombers had the ball for a lot of the third quarter. Caleros with 1 receiver. Off to his left, does not throw that way. Dumps it off to Brendan O'Leary-Orange. And it'll be a loss of 1, so the Tiger Cats able to limit that play.
2 and out here almost feels necessary. Almost feels like you got to make this stop here on second down, force the punt team back onto the field, and give Dane another chance, which will surely, that Winnipeg has a firm grip right now on the field position battle, and you've got to have some explosive play to break that mold.
Zach Calero's taking the play clock right down to 0. 2nd and 11, low pass. Rasheed Bailey dove for it, can't come up with a good coverage by Jamal Roll, and they do get the 2 and out. So Winnipeg, starting with good field position, cannot take advantage of it, and the Tiger Cats are going to get the ball back with just over 10 minutes to go in the game.
Ticats, pretty much since the first quarter, have gone with a 2-returner look for their punt team, Pappy White and Lawrence Woods back there. I think it's a good option, and boy, would it be great to see an explosion here from Lawrence Woods.
And we've seen it in the preseason. He can do it. Came in leading the league in punt return yards. Mark Leggio back on his own 34-yard line. The kick is a good one inside the 10. That pushes Lawrence Woods back to the 5. Outside the numbers, and not much space for Lawrence Woods to work. He gets across the 10. He'll be shy of the 15-yard line. So the Tiger Cats are a long field ahead with 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the game. They trail the Blue Bombers by 9 points. Stick around. You're listening to the Ticats Audio Network.
This week on the Ticats Audio Network.
When an official takes the flag out of his pocket, he has altered the game. For one team or the other, good or bad. And once you take that flag out of your pocket, it better be a penalty.
That's Glenn Suter of TSN talking about the no call on Dane Evans last week against Calgary. And congratulations to Glenn on his upcoming induction into the Hall of Fame. You can hear that interview with Bubba O'Neill and the CFL this week on the Ticats Audio Network. Tiger Cats, here we go. Fourth quarter, 9 minutes, 40 seconds to go. They are beginning this drive on their own 13-yard line. Dane Evans fakes the handoff under pressure. Had a hand on him, was able to fight that off and makes a short completion to Pappy White for a 4-yard gain.
Wow. Play action to Sean Thomas Erlington out of the backfield, and they had me. Sean Thomas Erlington got tackled by 4 Blue Bomber defensive players, but Dane kept it and gave it to Pappy White for a hard-earned 4-yard gain.
Important second down here for the Tiger Cats. It's 2nd and 6 from their own 17. 4 receivers to the field side. That's Dane Evans right. Looks to the left. There's a flag. It's complete to Stephen Dunbar Jr. It's enough for a first down, but the flag on the play, we'll see what this penalty is. The waggle from the Tiger Cats might have been close.
Yeah, you're right, RJ. The wide receiving group for the Ticats.
Outside, Winnipeg number 94.
Okay, there you go.
Penalties decline. Result of the play is the first down.
So that is first down presented by Active Green and Ross. Tiger Cats keep it rolling.
Stephen Dunbar Jr. had a touchdown pass go through his hands earlier this game. Great first down conversion there, and hopefully that's not the last that we see of him before this game is done.
Dunbar Jr. wide left, and that's where Dane Evans goes again, and it goes right to Willie Jefferson. Dunbar was hit, the ball popped loose, and it went right into the hands of Willie Jefferson, and he takes it in for a touchdown. An interception and a touchdown for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and these fourth quarter woes continue on a bad luck play for the Tiger Cats that somehow just bounced right into Willie Jefferson's hands, and he was able to get to the end zone. A touchdown for the Bombers on defense. They extend their lead 24-9 with 8:40 to go. We'll be back on the Ticats Audio Network. So Willie Jefferson, big play on defense for the Bombers, and that ball could have bounced anywhere, and it went right into the arms of Jefferson. The pass was intended for Stephen Dunbar. He was hit, and there's the big play for the Bombers, and all of a sudden this score indicates the game's not even close. 25-9 for Winnipeg with 8:22 to go. Lawrence Woods takes the kickoff on his own 10, gets to the 30, cuts to the outside. This is a big return for Lawrence Woods, up to the 50, to the 55, and across midfield into Winnipeg territory. So Lawrence Woods, a nice return, and the Tiger Cats now have to be looking at the clock. With just over 8 minutes to go, they've got a big hill to climb.
Yeah, very big hill to climb. 16-point difference right now, and that explosive return, helpful, but would have been great 10 minutes ago also. it got downhill pretty quickly there, and you can't control everything in football, but a couple untimely plays in a row for the Ticats.
5th interception of the year for Dane Evans. Throws to Stephen Dunbar, makes the catch. It was a low pass, gets 3 yards, but there are flags on the field.
Looked to me like Willie Jefferson jumped a bit early and crossed the line of scrimmage. Hopefully this gets pushed back for Ticat fans, and kind of need all the breaks to fall Ticat way if they're going to have a chance at turning this around.
Winnipeg number 52 holding Hamilton number 62. Those penalties will offset. It is first down.
Wow.
RJ.
No break there.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours, and the second half is again slid away from them just slowly. It's not catastrophic. Obviously, that sort of put an emphasis on it, that touchdown, Willie Jefferson interception for a touchdown, but boy, just unable to find a consistent rhythm offensively.
Tiger Cats have been outscored in the second half, 11-0. 25-9, Bombers lead. Dane Evans quickly throws off to his right. Sean Thomas Erlington makes the catch. Won't be enough for a first down.
Nice little option route. Sean Thomas Erlington out of the backfield, stacks with Stephen Dunbar Jr. to Dane Evans' right. And Sean Thomas Erlington, nice patience, 5 yards, and a little Oscar route for a nice gain.
Thomas Erlington, 29 yards rushing, 30 yards receiving. 2nd and 3 here for the Tiger Cats. They're on the Winnipeg 46 thanks to a big return by Lawrence Woods. Dane Evans under pressure, almost brought down by Adam Bighill. He stayed on his feet and then threw the ball away. And flags fly after the ball was thrown away into the Winnipeg sideline.
It'll be Jake Thomas is going to get a flag for roughing the...
Major foul, roughing the passer. Winnipeg number 52. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So excuse me, that's LB Mack the third actually who gets that penalty on Dane Evans. Totally uncalled for, but Dane does a great job of avoiding the sack there and getting the ball away and drawing that 15-yarder. To be honest, that's exactly what the Ticats need right there, a little juice. Yes. If it can't come from an explosive play, then let it come from a penalty on the opponent. But now they're well into Winnipeg territory. It's still 6:56 on the clock.
Tiger Cats trail by 16 points. Ball on the Winnipeg 31. Fresh set of downs here for Dane Evans. Now he's under pressure again. Has to roll to his right. Throws on the run. It was at the feet of Stephen Dunbar. It's incomplete. Again, a flag is on the field.
This one will come back on Hamilton. Always tough with quarterbacks. Leaves the pocket unexpectedly, and those guys are engaged in a block, and it's hard to let go and sort of disguise that holding that is happening constantly up front, but usually hidden, but in the mix.
Hamilton number 54, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Boy. So Chris Van Zyl. 6:43 on the clock. That's what we're keeping an eye on. Tiger Cats need points. Down 25-9. Ball now on the Winnipeg 41. It's 1st and 20 here for the Tiger Cats. 3 receivers off to the right. David Ungerer wide to the right, was in motion. Dane Evans under pressure again, escapes that pressure, and Stephen Dunbar has been his target a lot, but they haven't connected a lot. This is another incompletion. It was out of the reach of Dunbar.
Yeah, again, Dane Evans, great job of escaping and preventing that sack for a loss. Really nifty in getting away from that pressure, but unable to gather himself to control this pass, which was errant above Stephen Dunbar Jr. And you're right, not that, Dunbar's had a touchdown in both of the previous games coming into tonight, and a couple notable misses between Dane and Stephen Dunbar Jr. But big plays still to be made if the Ticats have a chance to come back in this.
Dunbar's been targeted 14 times, 6 receptions. Some of those were thrown away, and the statistics don't look good on Dunbar's line because of that. He was the closest receiver a few times.
Hamilton, number 62.
Another penalty against Hamilton here.
Remains second down.
Boy, cannot afford it. Second and 25, and really the real. I mean, we're presumably presumably you're kind of done with field goals right now too. It's a 16-point game. You're really probably gonna be going for touchdowns and going for 2. All CFL fans can. 6 minutes is a lot of time left. There's multiple drives to be had by both teams, but it's go time, and these penalties costly.
Second and 25, tough one here for the Tiger Cats. Dane Evans completes the pass to Pappy White, and he tried to make something happen. Winnipeg's defense was there. He will still be shy of the original line of scrimmage. And Dane Evans is off to the sideline, and the Tiger Cats will try a field goal.
Yeah, second and 13. Coach Orlando Steinauer elects to take the points that they can get, and hopefully you're going to get a number of drives still in the game here.
Domagala 3 for 5 on field goals. This one is a 41-yard attempt. The hold from Schultz, the kick from Domagala. This one has plenty of leg, and it is good. Michael Domagala hits his 4th field goal of the game. There's 5:04 remaining. The Blue Bombers lead the Tiger Cats 25-12 in Winnipeg, and the Tiger Cats are trying to dig into this lead. You're listening to the Ticats Audio Network. Great to have you with us. There was a weather delay in Winnipeg, some lightning. The game was delayed 30 minutes. Now there's just 5 minutes to go. RJ Broadhead with Luke Tasker. The Blue Bombers, they're up 25-12. Michael Domagala has accounted for all the Tiger Cats points with 4 field goals. They have not managed a touchdown, but they need touchdowns with 5 minutes and 4 seconds to go if they hope to come back and get that first victory of the season. It will not be easy, Luke. Winnipeg's defense has been tough, and the second half, they've been outscored 11-3.
Yep, and you're right. They're going to need to make some stuff happen here in the last 5 minutes. But Dane Evans has not had a whole lot of time in the pocket in this 4th quarter. We've seen him scramble and try to force some things a couple times now.
Winnipeg starts from their own 40. Quick pitch to Rashid Bailey, and he breaks one tackle, gets brought down shy of the first down. The ball pops loose. It's a fumble, and Tunde Adeleke comes up with it. Adeleke, the fumble recovery, and do the Tiger Cats have this football?
What did we say,
There's
RJ?
some discussion on the field.
Yeah, there is some confusion about...
Was Bailey down would be the question.
Looked like half the players on the field kind of thought it was done and half didn't. It looks to me like he was down on the ground. Taking a second look.
Ruling on the field is Winnipeg down by contact at the 49-yard line, and there was an immediate recovery.
Yeah, Bailey just reached the ball out, just to get a few more yards closer to that first down marker, and the ground clearly popped the ball loose. That's going to stand as Winnipeg ball. That is the kind of game-changing play that the Ticats were hoping for. That one's not going to be the one that stands, though.
Kind of the way the season's gone for the Tiger Cats. When they need a break, they don't get one. It'll be 2nd and 1 for Winnipeg from their own 49-yard line. So in at quarterback for short yardage is Drew Brown. Ted Laurent in the game, Kyle Wilson. Tiger Cats have been very good on these short yardage, but this is 2nd and inches. Brown, He'll get across the 50-yard line, and that should be plenty to get the first down. Let's see where they'll spot him. Not a favorable Winnipeg spot. And it is just enough for the first down.
Clock is still ticking away here, and under 4 minutes left, and Ticats defense needs to bring this drive to an end quickly here to allow Dane Evans time to work. Again, the second half, we've just seen Winnipeg keep a firm grip on the field position battle, and the Ticats have had long fields to run and unable to make points out of the times they did get into Winnipeg territory.
Bombers have had the ball almost 10 minutes longer than the Tiger Cats in this game. Caleros, handoff, not a surprise. And also not a surprise that there wasn't much there for Johnny Augustine. So a very minimal gain, maybe 1 yard. That'll bring up a second and long. Clock continues to run, getting close to the 3-minute warning.
Winnipeg is going to be able to take a full 20 seconds off, and there's the timeout from Orlando Steinauer.
Timeout, Hamilton. Please replace
the
game clock to 3:03.
I was going to mention,
Timeout,
Luke,
Hamilton.
why wouldn't they take that just before the 3-minute warning? But the clock was running, and Coach O did have that timeout before the 3-minute warning. So 3:03 on the clock. Timeout here for the Tiger Cats. 2nd and 8, the Bombers on their own 52-yard line. Pretty much a must stop for the Tiger Cats. They need this ball back, trailing by 13 points. Not much time to go in the football game. Zach Caleros in the huddle. Tiger Cats defense has been strong again. Really the score that has put the Bombers a little more comfortably ahead is the interception by Willie Jefferson. Pass intended for Stephen Dunbar. He was hit as the ball got to him, and it popped right to Willie Jefferson, who took it in for a touchdown. 2nd and 8. Bombers are ready. Zach Caleros in the shotgun. Steps back. Under pressure. Might try to run. Cam Kelly cuts that off. Now Caleros sees Jovan Santos Knox closing in, and Malik Carney. And he's brought down, and he had to slide.
Great. Again, that is a coverage sack there for the Hamilton defense. The cover 10, tight coverage, and Caleros has nowhere to go, has to take the loss.
So Winnipeg will have to punt. We're at the 3-minute warning. Hamilton will get the ball back. They're trailing the Bombers 25-12. We'll be right back on the Ticats Audio Network. 2:56 on the clock. RJ Broadhead with Luke Tasker. Tiger Cats will get the ball back. Mark Leggio on the field getting set to punt. Rainy evening in Winnipeg. Tiger Cats have not managed a touchdown. 4 field goals from Michael Damagala. It's a 25-12 lead for the Bombers. Lawrence Woods will need another return here, and this will go over his head into the end zone, and he'll take a knee, so it's another point for Winnipeg. 26-12 now. 14-point lead. 2-possession game.
I think you do, give up that single, make it 14 points, and take this yardage. You need every yard you can get, and you really can't afford, to get that 35 yards there. There's not really much time you can give up, and you'd rather take it right there, and you have to score 2 touchdowns anyways. Now that at least they get a chance with reasonable position to drive down the field.
74-yard punt by Leggio.
Huge.
And he's been perfect in field goals, too. Dane Evans trying to orchestrate a comeback here, throws up the middle, and Stephen Dunbar had it. He was hit, and the ball popped loose, and Winnipeg has picked it off. Nick Taylor comes up with it, and Stephen Dunbar Jr. was hit hard. He is very slow to get up. Pass was over the middle, and again, Winnipeg getting the ball somehow going right to a defender for another interception.
Yep, and that's Adam Bighill, and that's why that guy is one of the best football players in the CFL. Such a clean hit, but timely, puts a lot of torque on Stephen Dunbar Jr.'s body right as he's trying to secure the ball, and that's what can happen. So, I mean, you can call it any way you want. I mean, it's just a great play by Adam Bighill. Just a timely, unfortunate hit, but you got to stop the bleeding somehow if you're Hamilton. Unfortunately, Stephen Dunbar Jr. has kind of been involved with a lot of these more tragic plays on the night for the Ticats.
Again, couldn't have really turned out to be an easier interception for Nick Taylor, his second of the season. And a running play here for the Bombers. Not much there.
It's a hard catch to secure, and I can remember plays in my own career where it really doesn't look that it's a well thrown ball. It was really well placed, but just the circumstances are such and the way that you get hit right after that, and you aren't able to totally bring that in. But that, boy, you can just imagine what Stephen Dunbar Jr. is going to be thinking about and practicing on the jugs machine or with Matt Schultz after practice. And you got to the minute your fingertips get a hold of that football, you have to ironclad it, bring it right to your body safely. That's 2 in a row for him that have popped up in the air and gone into Blue Bombers' hands.
This was 2nd and 11, and Rasheed Bailey's open, and he makes the catch for the first down. A 15-yard gain, so the Bombers, no trouble at all on a 2nd and long. They get 15 yards, they convert, fresh set of downs, and they've moved up to the Hamilton 30-yard line. Points not a major concern for the Bombers, although they're well within range to get more. Under 2 minutes to go, they'd like to see as much time go off the clock as possible. They've got a 14-point lead.
Yeah, and their field goal here will push this to a 3-score game. Leggio's been perfect. They're well within field goal range here. They're really looking to stay on the field as long as they can and kill the clock even more.
Caleros lets the play clock run down. Brady Oliveira, he'll get a gain of a couple. Bombers just keeping that ball on the ground. Minute 27 to go. Third straight game. Dane Evans has had 2 interceptions. And you really can't blame him for these 2 in this game.
Yeah, and then you have the overtime ending last week at Tim Hortons Field with an interception. Another, you could argue, well-thrown ball.
Yes.
Bounces off Sean Thomas Earlington's pads and goes right up in the air. But you know what this sounds a lot like?
What's
making
that?
Excuses for a losing team. I mean, this things go wrong and right every game, and it just happens that the Ticats have had a lot of, maybe call it unlikely, but whatever, turnovers.
Another handoff here for the Bombers, and Oliveira might have just got a first down on the ground, a gain of 5, and he's celebrating a first down, just over a minute to go now. We knew this would be a tough place for Hamilton to go to get their first victory of the year. Winnipeg looks like they're en route to their 11th straight win at home. And the Tiger Cats did not lose 3 games in a row all last season. So next up will be the Edmonton Elks on July 1st at Tim Hortons Field. And that will be a 4th straight game against a West Division opponent. And I think we're going to see the new gray uniforms in that game.
Yeah, very cool.
See if they bring some luck.
There you go, yes. The makes me think back to the first ever game at Tim Hortons Field with the alternate jerseys that the Ticats wore for Labor Day in 2014, and that was a great victory over Toronto. And yeah, you never know. It'll be exciting to see a new look though to the Hamilton team next week.
3rd and inches. Drew Brown in. He'll sneak off to the right a little bit, and Simone Lawrence and Mason Bennett pull him out of the pile, but he had plenty on his forward momentum to get the first down and keep Winnipeg with possession. So these first 3 games have definitely not gone as planned for the Tiger Cats. Luke, you and I talked about it on Ticats this week. 18-game regular season. If you break it up into thirds, these first 6 games, the Tiger Cats only play one East Division opponent. That's Ottawa. The middle 6 are very important. 4 games against Toronto, 2 against Montreal, all in the division. And the only 2 teams right now in the East Division with victories are Montreal and Toronto. Bombers will just take a knee here. Let the clock run down a couple more seconds. And Caleros takes the knee. 26-12. Winnipeg leads the Tiger Cats, and they're going to improve to 3-0.
Yeah, Winnipeg is, in so many ways, to me, these 2 teams are not that dissimilar, and their records are exactly opposite, right? And neither team is playing fantastic. It's amazing. I mean, Winnipeg is really not doing anything, especially offensively, not doing anything that's groundbreaking, right? I mean, they are really just protecting the football is maybe the most important thing that they've done. A couple really good explosive pass plays, really more in the first half than the second. Again, and we're going to talk about it this week on all the content that we put on Ticats Audio Network. But it's turnovers, and you just can't win. And what did we say before? That if Ticats come out, or if Ticats turn the ball over more than the Bombers, they're not. They can't. They just can't. They cannot win the game. And sure enough, that's how it played out tonight as well. And you can make a lot of excuses for those turnovers, but in order to become a winning team, you've got to just find a way even to not let the unlucky ones happen.
So it is official. The game is over. The Blue Bombers improved to 3-0. The Tiger Cats 0-3. Winnipeg wins 26-12. Time now for the Access Storage recap of the game. Score a touchdown with affordable storage. Access Storage has flexible storage solutions at a store near you. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca. The Tiger Cats did trail at the half. They were outscored in the second half, Luke, 12-3, a 26-12 final. And going into Winnipeg, we knew it would be a tough place to get a victory, but the Tiger Cats have to, at home against Edmonton next week on July 1st, Canada Day. That is turning into a must-win pretty quickly.
Yeah, you're right. And again, this kind of goes back to some of the storylines we were talking about after that first loss to Sask, but must-win is, I don't want to throw it out there too soon. There's a lot of football left to play. I like where you're going with the storyline about the middle 6 of this season.
Yep.
Because everything's going to start to fall in place there as Hamilton and Toronto see each other 4 times in 6 weeks, just buffered by 2 Montreal games of equal importance. So, yeah, there's just some little things to clean up though before that. You got to continue and hope that the offensive line adversity continues to get better, not worse. Chris Van Zyl did have to leave this game, but he came back in. The turnovers are going to be the name of the game in fixing that. And the Ticat offense at times, again, finding some rhythm. Dane Evans, I thought, did a really good job of not forcing things. The turnovers that did happen were a result of sort of, timely defensive tackles or breakups, and I think there's a little hope to be found in sort of the lack of blatant quarterback error turnovers. Fumbles have been a big part of the first 2 losses. That was not really part of the story tonight, but you got to hand it to Winnipeg. I mean, they really just made it happen and sort of gutted it out to the finish line just better than Hamilton did.
Tiger Cats did not manage a touchdown. They got 4 field goals from Michael Damagala. Zach Caleros didn't throw a touchdown. Brady Oliveira ran a short one in. They got a defensive touchdown from Willie Jefferson, couple of turnovers, and that was the difference. 26-12. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers beat the Tiger Cats, and they improved to 3-0 while the Tiger Cats fall to 0-3. Tiger Cats postgame with Steve Clark and Andy Fantuz is coming up next. For Luke Tasker, our executive producer, Peter McEwen, our statistician, Greg Hood, and our operator, Michael Steyer, I'm RJ Broadhead. Thanks for listening to Hamilton Tiger Cats football on the Ticats Audio Network.
Ticats Audio Network.